Thank you.
Whoa!
Hey!
Howdy, welcome.
Oh no, hi.
I've been having some trouble with the buttons.
Hi.
Welcome to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. Second week in a row.
We're going live.
At least I kind of warned you guys this time that it might happen because I had a feeling about it.
And none of us prepared for it at all.
But welcome to Courts of Everest, our original Starfinder D&D campaign. Oh gosh, I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening in Bose, which might surprise some people. But joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. And everything is going just according to plan. We're going to play some D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. We played Mosaic Team 5, the thing that I keep trying to say, our original Starfinder campaign. Last night, we had the fallout from the Primatism fight. We had to return to Canosa Station, and at the very end of the session, we returned to the Drift. So all of that is going to be available on YouTube on Sunday at noon, followed by a re-airing of this session at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are at Albron RPG on Instagram and YouTube, pretty much all social media places. We have a website, albronrpg.com, and then in July, we have some things that are coming up. The last week of July and the first week of August, we're going to be on break, but there's going to be 2 original one-shots, one for each week. The first one is going to be the Starfinder one-shot called The Influencers. That is going to be a sort of tropical return to Aura's Bay. It's going to have some familiar characters and some new ones rejoining. We are going to be playing the week after that a one-shot called Camp Bright Cove, which is an original 5th edition D&D one-shot that is set in the Alberon canonical universe, and it's just a fun, lighthearted summer camp adventure.
Nothing's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, and so those are going to be great. Those are going to air while we are on vacation, so they won't be live, but those are going to probably be on YouTube. So again, at Albron RPG. And then finally, for this nice little whimsical music that you hear behind you, as well as other sound effects like, what are some other good sound effects we have here? Here's burps. Oh, there we go, a little tiny burp. Here's something, oh man, we always do, what is it, crockery catastrophe, and it's never very catastrophic. Oh, there we go. Like a mild incident.
Yeah, like an inconvenience at best.
A cup inconvenience. But for all of those sound effects and many, many more, Sirenscape is a digital tool set that you can use to add sound effects and things into your life and games. But with that, I can bring us into our recap. That fades out so nicely. All right, Wandering Hearts. Last that we played, you made your way up the lower phase green belt and found yourselves back at the Wincing Manticore. There you nursed your wounds with liquid healing and Minka's more practical magical healing and assessed the situation. Diatralun Sunder had escaped but left you important information. He had mentioned the fracturing, to which he is but one of many. He had the Wakepeter flu, derogatorily referred to as Prism flu by those that believe the Prismatic Conclave is responsible. When Hearsome arrived, far sooner than you'd hoped, Alina spun the traumatic events of the attempted infiltration of Sunder's masquerade to a more favorable light. Hearsome slowly warmed to the objective failure of your mission, soothed by the information your group had woven together. However, as you mentioned the Dark One, this name that you had read within a book, his head snapped up and instantly his attention was captured. Hesitantly, after Ori mentioned the book that Hearsome was mentioned in, you handed this book over, and it disappeared into the folds of these robes so far that not even Cheshire could fish them out. And in fact, Cheshire became a rat, polymorphed by the jacket. Hearsome agreed that in the morning it would be wise to investigate the mansion further. He left, promising to have the site secured so nobody could interfere. Billy and Ori went to snoop at the Prismatic Conclave. They were abruptly shown in, not realizing that these small animal-filled grounds were open to all. They were greeted by a middle-aged human, butler, who heralded the arrival of the Lord Ranger of the Prismatic Conclave herself. Linnea Rockrum, an unusual centaur that appeared to very much be a small cream-colored draft horse with a makeshift cloth sack upper torso and face attached with a leather bridle. However, Linnea insisted through
Noble centaur of all.
Linnea insisted through psychic means that the conclave was not to blame, but led you through the grounds to the rainwater runoff to investigate. There you found bags filled with the red pulp of flowers familiar to Ori in particular. These crimson chrysanthemums. Linnea denied knowledge of this and indicated that she would secure the facility further in the future. Meanwhile, as all of this transpired, Alina, you summoned your new familiar, freed from a cage in Diatre's bedroom. He turned out to be a somewhat shifty, but at least sort of more amenable to combat imp than Petal had been. You regrouped at long last, all of you to the Wincing Manticore, and pooling together the little bits of knowledge that each of you had gathered separately, very separately, Ori made the connection that this flower pulp seemed to be causing the Wakepeter flu, and that in fact this purple-red chrysanthemum grew around a place very, very familiar to him. The Tower of the Crimson Mage in the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm. And as midnight draws close and the 15th of Summertide sinks into the 16th, that is where we begin this evening. All right. So, at this moment, it is close to midnight, and so outside of the Wincing Manticore on the warm and welcome way, lit with these little lanterns that shed these very dim shadows of the few people who walk by, what do you all want to do? You know that in the morning you have this mansion that you want to investigate. You've already checked out the Prismatic Conclave and a few other things.
Well, Alina has already suggested that it might be a good idea to go back to the mansion tonight to try to get into the big box that supposedly has lots of information about the fracturing.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Apparently there's chocolate in there too, yeah. So Alina says, like, I really think we should just go back tonight before Hearsome has a chance to get there, because I think he might be hiding something, you guys. And so, like, and you know, Rez, you're pretty fireproof, right? So maybe you can help us get in there if things are still on fire.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to try.
You know, chocolate melts.
Yeah, but when it cools down, it gets solid again, right?
Fair enough.
Does it?
I mean, if that works for you, then it works for me.
Doesn't get melted and burned.
Look, it all ends up in the same place, so whatever form it is in, it's still chocolate. You can't waste that stuff.
Well,
They're like a chocolate clinic in the Emerald Spire where you can go to get a hit just to get through the night.
There is no like safe injection site, but
Yeah.
you guys do know of a candy shop that is actually on the Warm and Welcome Way, likely closed, but there is at least a couple of places that you can get chocolate. It's just very expensive.
So Alina's gonna say, like, yeah, and if there's not that much chocolate left after, the house burned down, you said there's lots of money in that box, right? So I'll buy you some chocolate, no problem.
All right, maybe we should go tonight then.
I mean, I think we should, because I'm, a little annoyed that Hearsome took that book. I mean, obviously there's information that he doesn't want us to have. I mean, what if there's more in that box?
What about the rest of you?
well, I think if we go tonight, it might be a good idea, even if we don't go in, just to get an idea of how burnt down it is. We are woefully consistent in how ill prepared we are. So maybe this time we can figure out if we need anything special tonight, and in the morning we can get it before going there. So maybe we might look a little bit more together.
Makes sense to me.
It kind of does in a weird way.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, had apparently a really nice nap in the cart on the way back here, so I'm fine.
And then Alina looks over at Valis and is like, how about you, Healy boy? Guy with the healing.
That is what they call me. Back to the academy.
Thought you lost your memory.
Poor
Not
memory
that one.
unlocked.
They put that one back.
Yeah.
This is too good.
I didn't like that name.
The guy was like, the technician looked at it, he was like, oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, I can come help. It doesn't hurt to take a look.
Remember that time that we attempted to look in that chest? And it was a mimic.
Yeah, it did hurt to take a look.
It did.
Laura, what are you doing while all this is happening?
Just kind of sitting, staring at my drink, lost in thought.
Okay.
There's no deep-seated trauma there at all.
No.
No, he's fine. Yeah, he's probably fine. Okay, well, I mean, should we go then? Like, no time like the present, right? The longer we wait, the more time Hirscham has to set up his perimeter.
It's getting late, at the very least. If we need to get there pretty early tomorrow, we're kind of burning time to actually get some rest.
Also true.
Did he tell us what time we needed to be there?
No.
He just said in the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning's just any time before noon, right?
Yeah.
We did just go there super early.
Hmm.
I guess, I don't know. Okay, well, what should we do? Are we going or are we
I say we
resting?
go now. We come back, we sleep, and then we go at like,
Like 10:30, 11 maybe. Have a little
11:30,
yeah.
That's good.
All right. And then Alina looks around to be like, Cheshire, what do you...
Gone.
I really want to know where she goes.
I have a theory that she goes to like a little like pocket dimension where it's just all chaos all the time.
My theory is that she's just always here.
She's just working a second job as sales.
In the service industry.
Yeah, exactly. With Rez. So, you guys make your way back to the mansion. Okay, no problem. You had the benefit of a cart ride before, and this time you're walking. And so it will take a little bit longer. To get to the bottom part of the phase spire, probably about 40 minutes.
Where's the cart?
It's in the back. I mean, is one of you going to steer it? Is one of you good at
Checking my
land vehicles?
Who is proficient in land
Whoever takes proficiency in land
Well, sometimes
vehicles.
they just come with your
I
background.
know.
No, I'm sure that one of you could just probably do it, no problem.
I
Probably
don't have
me.
proficiency.
You also have a very well-trained horse, technically.
Oh, that's true.
Who are you talking to?
I mean, I don't mind
could
walking, but
just
you know,
pull
I don't know
it.
how to drive a cart, so.
Could I pull it?
Minga's gonna like size up the cart and see.
It was pulled by two horses previously, but make a... Jeez, what is this? Make a flat intelligence check.
Engineering check.
That is the wrong system.
It's like a self-insight.
It's like
Am I horse enough?
What is my strength score?
a 7.
It's really hard to tell. I mean, I think you look at it and you could certainly try. But if you do try and it doesn't work, you use one of these, you know, abilities that you don't have a ton of.
Yeah.
So, up to you.
Oh, sorry. Are you telling us?
Minga's just gonna stare really intently on the cart, and like her face like kind of contorts a little bit, and it goes, "Ooh."
I guess we're walking.
All right, off we go.
No problem.
And on the way, Alina's gonna say to Rez, maybe you should stay invisible. Can you go invisible? The other one could go invisible.
Yeah, no, I can do that. I was actually going to
That might
kind
be
of
a good
say,
idea, yeah.
generally people don't react well when I'm
Yeah.
flying around on the
Maybe
city
just
streets.
invisible, or like, you know, I mean, do you have any other shapes you can take? Like,
I can take the shape of not being here.
okay, well, invisible it is then.
All right. And just invisible. There is a slight and like the slight smell of sulfur.
Oh, are we
On the way, I want to ask Ori, can you...
heading out? Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, come on,
you-
we'll-
Walking and talking.
One for the road,
We're
Crispy.
sorting it. Like,
Crispy has gone to bed, but the bottle is
shit.
still there.
All
so
right,
you
I'm
can
taking
take
a
it.
swim.
One for the road, Crispy, and
get it yourself.
Oh, could you tell us more about what you know about these flowers that come from...
Well, they're from a place in the Magiocracy, and they may have some power, though my studies have not brought me to any such conclusion.
They make a pretty good perfume.
It is used in dyes and stuff as well, typically.
But I wonder how they're causing the flu. It's so weird. Do you think they've been tampered with?
No, probably not. Well, not in the way that you're implying.
What do you know?
Not much, to be honest. Just there.
I meant about the flowers.
I know what you meant. Thank you.
I could feel you holding that in. Really? Yeah, that is.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but now I'm not because you were mean. Well, some people think that there's an innate power within these flowers, but nothing has ever been proven as far as I'm concerned. That's really all I know about that. So,
You make your way.
sorry.
And then we're quiet the rest of the walk.
Yeah, no problem. So you walk. Is there anything that you or anybody is looking for or doing on the way? You can just retrace your steps. It's not a terribly difficult route.
It's cool rock check time.
Yeah, go for it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stressed.
What is his perception? Are we perceiving? Is it nature?
Yeah, you're perceiving.
That's not bad. Okay, 16.
16. I mean, looking around here in the city that is basically a vertical column of magical crystal, there's not a ton of like just stray pebbles and rocks to be found. Here and there, I mean, there are like literally the little pebbles that you find in treads of shoes and like little bits that you can certainly scoop up and look over later. They're so small that it's hard to really ascertain what they are. Yeah, not a lot here. But you got a cool piece of granite.
Yeah, it's true.
That's very true. There are glowing animals and stuff.
Yeah, so when you reach the lower, when you reach the, give me 1 second so I can remember the name of it, the lower Greenway phase belt, you can, there are all these like little butterfly-like creatures and fireflies, but they don't have any like bioluminescence. It's almost like they're capturing black light.
Okay.
So you make your way back. The crowd has gone away. It's mostly dispersed at this time. It's been about 3 hours now since you left. You can smell, and actually, Vincent, since you are the newest person here, go ahead and roll a D100. Let's give you a chance to make a big impact on the story.
What, him convincing the bad guy to leave and totally upending the story wasn't impactful enough for you?
28.
Okay.
Oh no.
So from a good distance, as you are walking in, you can smell the smell of like scorched stone, the same kind of smell that you get like at the end of a fire pit, where you can really smell like the warm earth and the fire. And there are little bits of ash on the walkway as you get like a little bit closer, and then you spiral back down around, and you notice even those little glowing animals are like fewer and farther between. And as you loop around again, you can see now the mansion, such that it is no longer 2 stories, no longer really truly even 1 story. There are elements that you can see from where you were coming in on the east side of the statuary, actually laid bare and open to the outside air. Billy, instantly, you notice that the sculpture that you had been so captured by shattered with the heat. But many of them still totally intact. You can actually see like the ruins of the silk parlor upstairs. It's fallen down, but badly damaged, this building.
So Immediately, I'm like, crap, the box was on the second floor.
Oh, it's not there now.
Yeah, okay, Rez, maybe your time to shine. Do you want to go see if you can locate the box?
I mean, I could try, but I just to be clear, I still get chocolate even if we can't get the box, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got this. And you hear this.
Where's the motivation?
Billy kind of like reaches down and picks up a little fragment of the statue.
Is there anyone around?
Looking around, there's a few people, and you can definitely see further down. So you guys are still maybe like 300-400 feet away, and you have to spiral one more time around to get there. But you can see 2 or 3 shimmering green-clad figures.
Lexagi.
Who are the Lexagi, the law-keeping forces, keeping watch on Hearsman's behalf, presumably.
Is our plan to sneak by the Lexagi, or to tell them we're here for Hearsman?
Probably don't want to do that if we're trying to keep out of Hearsome's gaze.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking sneaky, but let's let Rez see what he can find, because he's invisible and pretty sneaky on his own. So once we get the lay of the land, then we can figure out what to do next.
You hear the like heavier leathery wings kind of carry Rez back, and though he isn't visible, yeah, he kind of like hits a little bit and he goes, "Oh, sorry, Diatra's a little taller." You're not gonna believe this. Perfect. You can see it straight up from overhead. It's like a perfect circle burned right around it. Easy to get to, really, but you got to get by these guys. There's 3 of them.
Well, we need the keys too, right? From the basement?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be kind of a problem. I don't know how to find those. But maybe we could carry the box away and then just figure something out later.
Well, I know where the keys are. They're in that creepy sarcophagus in the basement.
Okay, but, and he like jerks his hand over and you can see like, there is like one single shingle from the roof that just falls and like flitters down and hits the ground. And like, it's, I mean, completely ruined is this mansion.
I don't think we'll be able to just carry it out. I mean, it's huge, right? You said it's like coffin sized.
It's a little smaller than that, but yeah, it's very large.
How did I miss that?
So besides the chocolate, what's
under
even
a
in that?
floorboard?
You talking to Rez?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it out loud, but
Okay.
kind of directing it.
Oh, a whole bunch of money, really.
Just money and chocolate.
Oh, what do you mean just money? And also, what do you mean just chocolate?
You told me there was information in the box.
I mean, money buys information, and also, there's money in the box. That's information.
What else is in the box? Ear for DC.
Make an insight check.
As this is happening, Minka's gonna kind of look to see if she can, like, she's not gonna get any closer, but she's gonna see if there's any evidence of a library that once was.
Make a perception check.
Didn't help.
The library is along the exterior
warm it up.
wall, and so, or the reading room. Not bad.
A 19?
19. So off in the very far southwestern corner, you can see like the wall is still mostly intact on the outside, and so there is some chance that there's stuff still kind of maintained within there. There is like blackened marks coming out of the stone from the windows, and so the book's probably not doing great.
17.
It seems to be telling the truth.
Okay, I gotta admit, you told me there was information and things about his, dealings with the fracturing. I mean, I gotta say,
Well, I told you everything that I know about that, and
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling less motivated to go after a box that does not have, anything other than money and chocolate in it.
It's got a really nice liner.
Okay.
Besides the keys, are there any traps? Anything else that we should know about before trying to open this thing?
I'm gonna be honest, the fact that it's a perfect circle around it doesn't
It's
bode well,
probably some sort of magic ward.
but I don't know anything specific about it.
Well, we got information by looking at how destroyed this is.
You guys did a
So-
pretty good job with this.
Give him a little high five. I like post for a high five.
All three of his little fingers.
Technically, it was that bard's fault. He did fireball us twice.
Yeah. Look, I don't feel bad about it. So what do you want to do, team? I mean, I don't really want to fight the Luxagi.
I don't think it's worth.
Oh no, that's a terrible idea.
We've done the recon.
So, if I recall, Diatre escaped through a tunnel in the basement. Is there any way to figure out where that tunnel went out? Because we could use that.
Well, if we go down to the
enter.
basement and follow the tunnel.
But maybe it would be better to do that after we've rested.
You doing Unseen Servant?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Go run yourself over to the box there and see if you can get at it.
You feel this presence just move. And it goes over, and a couple of minutes pass. It does take it longer to pick its way through the wreckage. The imp had the ability to fly straight over, but eventually you get the sense that it's far too heavy for it to move. It can get there.
Is it touching it?
Is it a physical form? Give me 1 second. Unseen Servant's a little nuanced.
We've said that it's gotten crushed before.
It has 1 hit point, but there's one.
And
other...
it's able to like get in people's way. And
And it's able to do small tasks. So it's
There's
like
a word that I'm just gonna check and see if it has in it.
Let me pull out the spill.
Yeah. If you can do it faster, great. My computer is really slow. It's getting slower every day. An invisible, mindless, shapeless force. So yeah, I would say it can touch it. Absolutely.
But there was no force field.
Nothing that prevented it from touching it. No.
Well, we can touch it.
Do you still have that magic detecting thing? See if we can see if it's trapped.
I'd have to be close to it.
Alright, well, how about some of you cause a distraction, keep the Luxagi occupied, we sneak in and take a peek, then go home.
Billy kind of directs it towards one side of the statuary where we're farther away from.
Okay.
And any distraction. I'm not Cheshire, but
I was thinking we'll just go up and talk to him so that we can get by.
Well,
It's not like we're criminals or something.
No.
Billy
Or he starts playing the flute on his horse, going in for some diplomacy.
Billy starts directing the unseen servant to kind of just start bouncing around the garden and making
been the
dirt
wind.
fly.
Okay. Make a performance check for the unseen servant.
Using my
What's that noise?
Oh.
What is that?
You're there.
Girl.
It was the pride dice.
Oh,
Is it a 1?
Yes.
So your unseen servant, when you tell it to perform, it performs its heart out. It performs better than it ever has in its life, which not hard because it's never performed, but it is the best mime of all time. And unfortunately, in terms of performances, that's not one that an unseen servant can use to really get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And so though it is trapped in this box, and that conveys a lot of metaphors to the current political situation of Everest, it really doesn't do a lot for a distraction.
I think it's doing something, but good job, buddy. And then because it's completed the task.
Okay, so I guess
sure
It
that
walks down some stairs.
You don't want me to just go and talk to Lasagi and just say that we want to check it out because we thought that might be some danger to the information being
Because
lost.
they'll report it to Hearsome.
yeah, and I
And
kind
why
of feel
is
like
that so bad?
Because Hearsome will take our stuff away.
So maybe...
If if we tell him that we have it,
look, we have kind of a history with Hearsome. And believe me, I've been his biggest fan. But I think we just want to play this one close to the chest.
While they're talking about this.
Make a perception check.
is anyone able to
I didn't
view
hear
on the
what Matt
ground to
said.
find where that
For
tunnel
detail,
ends
for
up?
hidden
Not right now, no.
entrances and stuff.
It's not really hidden entrances,
yeah,
so-
or hidden objects.
Yeah,
There
I
any-
mean,
My big question is if the reward of now being here, now that we know there's not actually anything valuable in the box, is that, whether the risk of being here is too high and maybe we should just rest and come back as planned.
Well, at this point, coming here was more if we're gonna try to do something, but if we're not gonna be able to do anything, I don't want to risk us accidentally, I don't know, falling into a pit or being a hotspot. Oh, imagine if like one of the rebels actually a hotspot and we light on fire again. Not great situation. It's really late too and I'm tired.
When you're right, you're right.
What happened?
Ori, as you look, and this is all kind of like womp, 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 womp in the background, you like begin to case the joint a little bit, and along the northern wall where things have collapsed the worst, there have been like it looks like some kind of a magical attempt to put out the fire. So like earth has been shaped over, like thrown down and then shaped over. And so there are these like almost tidal wave like earthen mounds that you could maybe use to kind of like get to the wall itself. Because of them, you can't really see what's beyond. So whether or not that like kitchen door is still there or like anything like that, hard to tell.
Could I? Well, since it seems like we're gonna leave, maybe I can just try something, which probably won't work, but I could just try it.
Ask yourself that.
Am I within 1,000 feet of the basement?
This is a big hypotenuse. Give me a second here. Yes, you absolutely are.
All right.
Not the entire basement, interestingly, but most of it. Yeah.
I'll look at that table that was right next to where we were fighting Diatre, and I'll cast Locate Object, figure out where it is, where that table is.
Sorry,
and then
there's
try
a
to
lot of tables. There's like 8.
Oh, yeah,
I
like-
specifically put about 10 tables in there.
Oh, how about, did you grab that chest that was on that table?
I
Or did you
ended
leave
up
it there?
not because it was.
I know the one you're talking about. That
Bigger
long counter at the
combat.
end of the room.
Yeah, the one with
Cool,
the shields and I grabbed the shields. 'Cause
I'll grab-
those were more useful in not dying. Well, they
Remember,
ended up
you
not
wanted
being.
2 shields. You only got
They
one.
ended up not being very useful in not dying, but
Can I
Yeah,
cast
worked
Locate
out.
Object on that shield and try to figure out, triangulate where that tunnel is, and then maybe I can walk along above the tunnel and see if we can just find out where it comes up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay. It probably won't work, but
so you cast Locate Object, and within 1,000 feet, for sure, it's in the basement. You know where the basement is already, and so that, I mean, you can sort of tell with that, and also thinking about like how you walked into the house, and really thinking about like how the basement's laid out. You know that leads out into the. Give me 1 second here. The northeast. I have to do never eat slimy worms every time, or else I can't remember what way they go.
oh, I do.
Soggy waffles
I do.
for me.
Soggy waffle.
There you go.
I don't want to eat either of those things, so that works.
You always check the news then, NEWS.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Then you have to remember which one.
Sweaty.
Anyways, that is northeast.
While all this is happening, I'm gonna kind of casually and sneakily shuffle off in the direction of
Make a stealth
see
check.
what's around the mound.
Make a
Get a
stealth
better look there. 15.
How did you roll a 15?
I
Are you a
rolled pretty
rogue?
poorly.
Wow.
Wait, do I get to do something better than
I'm not your character. You tell me.
Do you have the never fail at doing rogue things ability yet?
That's
I have level yet.
I don't think I have that yet.
So,
What is that one called?
Ori, you skulk into the
Reliable talent.
darkness.
Reliable talent, yeah.
I don't believe any of you have a high enough passive to see Ori, but Alina, Rez says, hey, I don't know if this is important or not, but Ori's just kind of sneaking off.
Not really sneaking, just kind of casually stepping out of the conversation to go discreetly to see around that corner.
He's
the mount.
definitely sneaking.
Can I just look and see like where?
He looks like he's just trying to go around towards the back of the house.
He's probably just doing some recon.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you know.
Good communication, bud. We're a good team.
Yeah, teamwork's important.
Yeah.
Two-way street.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to see if I can
Keep
find
bringing
where
back.
that tunnel ends up,
Okay,
and I'll come back here. So,
make a survival check.
all right, survival.
Not survive.
I die.
He died as he lived, looking at stuff.
Let's see, survival. That's a 3.
Okay. So you get down to the base of this like long walkway, and as you do, there's like an elf right at the bottom, a little bit like on the older side for an elf even, so like must be like hundreds of years old. And as you approach, he turns to you and just starts saying, "Have you found faith yet?" And as you like look around, you're like, "Well, I'm a paladin," and like whatever. He begins to go up and just start extolling every god to you, not just one, any god that like he could think of. And he like starts off going with like the pretty major ones, but then he starts going off. He's like, I mean, depending on what you want, there's Umberlee. She's not very nice, but there's a person who's all about how you look, and there's one that's all about crystals, I think. And then there's one that if you pray to them sometimes they'll leave you gifts. How about that? And then there's also, and then he just keeps going. And it's really not that you are unable to find the tunnel as much as eventually you're like, I have to go. And you turn right around and leave.
So fair to say that he's preaching about all faiths.
He's preaching about all the gods. This is not a member of the Church of the All Faith.
Dang it.
That's all. I don't know if you clocked this, but all of us
I know.
really excited.
Meanwhile, Vincent and I are just like, yep.
Slow burn.
Did I see any animals? Any rats or anything?
Yeah, there are animals all around here. So as you're like walking
Okay.
around, yeah.
Cast speak with animals and try to speak with a rat?
Yeah, sure. How do you cast speak with animals?
That's a great question. What do you mean?
So speak with animals, if I'm not mistaken, has both a somatic and So you're about to cast magic in front of somebody is my point.
Oh, I mean, I guess while I'm walking, when I walk away.
Okay. Cool.
And actually, I wouldn't be annoyed by this guy. I think my character would listen intently with a smile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Then what I'll say is,
Well, my character would do.
Yes, sir. That's
with that, then, if you don't,
Well, if I do end the conversation with him, then I would, and have a chance to continue, so then I would cast speak with animals.
so do you want to speak with animals or speak with Guy?
I'm just listening. Right now I'm listening to Guy.
Incidentally, I'm half right.
So you speak with this guy, and you see for like a moment there's a squirrel, and the squirrel kind of like lingers a little bit, and then the guy keeps going, so the squirrel gets like a little too far away. But you do learn over the course of this guy talking, there is a movement happening right now for people to become faithful or to just like band together. There's stuff that's happening to the north, to the south, and so it's hard to tell whether this is just your standard doomsday prophet or somebody who is just really in sync with the times. But there is something more to this preaching. There's definitely a larger movement happening.
Okay. Is there a name for the movement?
Not a name, but there are people now that are certainly seeking faith.
I don't interrupt him. I listen to him until he's done.
So Vostok listens for about like 15 minutes and then comes back up much wiser.
Oh, when he's done, I want to cast speak with animals and see if I can find an animal.
Gotcha. You can cast that spell. Go ahead and mark off that slot. Make a nature check.
See if he can ask a woodland
7.
creature.
7. There's a caterpillar that you can see
Caterpillar?
on like a blade of grass, like towards the bottom in this little like magical grass that is like not quite capturing like black light like the rest of the plants and everything, but still much brighter than it should be. There's just this little green and blue caterpillar. It does have that like not bioluminescence, kind of black light look.
Phosphorescence.
Yeah, phosphorescence. Look at that.
Can I speak with caterpillars?
What are you saying to the caterpillar?
The different spell you need to speak with caterpillars.
Yeah, it's very specific. It works with every animal's but caterpillars and dragons.
Anything weird going on in the caterpillar world nowadays?
The caterpillar just turns and looks at you like completely awestruck and just goes, "What?" Called?
anything weird going on in the caterpillar world nowadays.
It like you see all the little legs go up as it like gets up, and it kind of like is trying to see if you're looking and talking to it now. And you see all the little legs go, and it's like trying to wave. For anybody who's watching, you can see like Velas is just talking to the grass from about 750 feet away. You guys cannot see a caterpillar. So, yeah, this caterpillar just goes. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Am I talking to you?
Well, I can hear you, but only for the next 10 minutes.
What's minutes?
I tried to explain it in caterpillar life cycle terms.
You get the sense that this caterpillar not real smart, and so about caterpillar level intelligence. And right now, everything that you say will blow this caterpillar. You would need to be very, very mindful of how you phrase questions to get any important information.
About 10 minutes, but
I did
Tell me
not
what
think
your
I'd be
concept
getting
of
any
time is.
important information.
There's always a
So I
chance.
So I guess I'll just ask, do you know anything about a lot of red flowers? Like a lot that aren't from around here.
Red?
Strike and a miss.
It was a good shot. It's hard. It's hard. I had one thing in my mind that I was thinking about. This is like that same, one of us tells a lie, one of us tells the truth kind of deals. But
Can I try one more thing?
Yeah.
I took a vial sample of the flower mush and I put it in a vial. I just want to show the
some
vial
of
to
this.
the caterpillar and say, and I'll just ask,
he's like, what?
what do I ask?
so as you like hold it out, it
Yeah.
kind of gets closer and closer. It is like flowers.
Yeah.
And slowly it like goes up and you can see it just begins to like eat it. And it just begins to slowly consume this stuff. It's a caterpillar.
Yeah, that's true.
I've successfully fed the caterpillar.
I want to ask, where can
This will
I
have
find
no
more
consequences.
of this? This type, this kind. Ugh. It's really hard. Where can I find more of
Just this.
This.
Yeah, sure. And so as you like say that, the caterpillar looks up and just goes, I don't know anything.
Tiny boy.
Well, I'll take out a little bit more. Leave him something to say, have a nice day.
Okay.
I'll go back to the group.
Go back to the group.
I like to think that this whole time Minka was very intently watching him, being like, can he also speak to plants?
He's asking the grass.
I come back to the group and
Grass must know so much. He's been gone.
tell him I couldn't find the tunnel.
And that's all that happened.
Well, good try.
I say we go home, we go back to the Wincing Manticore, we go to bed. Tomorrow morning, we get a shovel? It's just something.
You know a spell that moves Earth around.
It's not a lot of earth.
Okay.
And it takes a while.
You're okay. So what do we use the shovel for?
I mean, it's gonna be. Look at all of like the rubble.
Would us
Stuff collapsed.
using a shovel take longer or shorter than your spell that moves Earth?
If it's a joint effort, then okay.
Well,
I think it's just bedtime.
I mean, if we come back tomorrow, then that means Hirsim will be here and all of Hirsim's people or whatever. And so if we're going about it just in the way that Hirsim intends, we can say, I mean, we know there's a tunnel down there. I'm sure there will be plenty of resources to be able to get in there, and you can help.
A pickaxe would be better. I really would.
Do I see anything from my new vantage point?
As you pick your way around, going towards these little hills and just making your way from one little pile of rubble to the other. It always makes its way into at least one campaign. You get up to like the edge of the wall, and from your new vantage point, looking in, this place has been badly damaged. You can see the exterior, like northern part of the mansion itself, like where the kitchens are and things, seems a little bit more intact. Though the roof is all crumbled into the south part. You can still see furniture. The interior, the ballroom, that is like the most damaged and crushed in. And then out towards the edge, there's like a little bit more. So like the exterior parts of the mansion seem to be in the best shape.
Okay. Is there a way, from here, looking into the kitchen, does it seem like the stairwell down that we had gone through is still accessible in any way? Or is
Yes,
there
so you can see that there is like that hole that leads down. There are parts of the floor that have collapsed in, and so like the basement itself certainly badly damaged.
Yeah.
How safe it would be to go down there with an entire mansion collapsing on it?
Not great.
Not great. You could try.
I think I would like to very carefully
Get all 4 keys.
look to see if all 4 keys are in a spot where I could reach them without, putting myself in danger of getting crushed by rubble.
So you get a little closer.
And also not getting myself crushed by rubble in doing the check.
Ori, there is a point where as you are walking, what is your passive perception?
I believe it's a 19. It is a 19.
Okay, so with the 19, as you are crossing through, there is a point where you see a tiny little silver string strung about an inch above the ground. And at first, your mind says, oh, trap. But that's not quite right. You can actually see where it attaches. It's not like triggering anything. You would imagine, although hard to tell for you, maybe a magical component to this. And you begin to wonder about the wisdom of crossing over it. That being said, you can just step right over it. It's like an inch off the ground.
This is something that has been placed since we've left. Does it seem like it's something that has been set up as like a defensive measure?
Not
by Diatribe, but by like the Lexagi security.
I would say yes, based on like the way that it's set up. You can see one like this, and as you peer back and you can see in the hallway there's like a similar one. It seems like these have been set up probably by people who have been here since. You didn't run into any of them?
Okay.
While running away from the rest of your party?
Yeah. I'd like to try and test its triggering. I'm going to hide myself and try to like place rubble such that it kind of like hits on the side.
Okay.
But like from a distance, I'm just gonna kind of roll it and see if it does anything.
So you go and you like find a place where you can kind of hide as best you can.
So it's kind
Make
of
a stealth
like
check. Make a stealth check.
reasonably, if it triggers something.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
That,
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that it's like, oh, the rubble just got in the way. Natural 20.
Hey.
Oh, that's the pride die.
So you take, give it the take it the
Hi.
So you take this little piece of rubble and like you have to judge everything. Luckily, there's no wind here, and so that definitely simplifies your calculations. But you throw this little pebble, and you see and you hear it hit so perfect. This little ding, as the little strand is almost plucked like a guitar string. For the rest of you, all of a sudden, you are kind of like wondering. Actually, I would say with Ori's first stealth check, as soon as like Rez clued you in, almost all of you could look over and see Ori's like not doing a great job sneaking down there, especially because you are looking down. But when you begin to realize that you haven't seen Ori for a moment, suddenly there is a little bit of a commotion towards the front. One of the Lexagi runs over to the other one, and there is like a exchange of words, and then 2 of them run off in the direction that Ori went. Ori, you hear the sound of metal on metal, this plate mail kind of ching ching ching. And suddenly there are 2 of these Lexagi, like right around the area. They seem to have somehow responded to this. They look around, and just to be fair, that is really good rolls. Ooh, natural 1 and an 8. So one of them walks in. You can see this elf, like wearing all of like the traditional Lexagi garb, but looks a little bit young. Goes through, and like as he goes in, you hear the little of like rubble falling down, and you hear him just go, oh. And from like far away, you hear the other one go, hey, did you find anything? And he goes, Yeah, I know. I looked everywhere, and he just like goes straight by and just completely walks straight. Otherwise, he would. I mean, there's not a lot of places to hide here. But as he walks away, you can hear him just say, "Are you sure that alarm spell is correct? Because I didn't see anybody in there." And he just keeps going.
Alarm spell. Okay.
Once I see the guards running over, I'm gonna say to Rez, "Can you go check on him? And if he's okay, maybe just whisper in his ear to come regroup."
Are you sure? I mean, you did say not to go there, and he went there.
I said no such thing? What? Did I say that? I don't remember.
Yeah, you had just kind of said that maybe it was a good idea not to do that, and then Ori just kind of wandered away.
Well,
You know
I hadn't been
what?
listening,
He's a
in
grown-up.
fairness.
He probably just saw something that was worth investigating. So, we're a team, right? So, trying to trust each other here.
All right. These heavy wings carry him away. Ori, as soon as they walk away, you just hear, and then this imp
About
just
to
appears
start
right in
making a
front of
move.
you.
What?
Hey, Alina said, oh shit. I don't remember what Alina said, but I think you're supposed to come back. Hey, did you find any chocolate?
He can ask me telepathically what I said.
I didn't find any chocolate. No. There's an alarm there. Can you do anything?
He flies up and gets close to the ceiling, and then just tries to pass over it. You hear from far away, "Hey, it's again, go back there." And you can just hear him go, I really didn't see anything, but fine. And then you hear, shing, 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 and the imp just goes, "Ooh, you're on your own." It's invisible. Make a stealth check.
Another one?
Yes.
You're inviting this on yourself. I feel like I make this very clear every time.
You were just sitting there
You could have just turned around and left.
Yeah, well, I didn't want him to trigger it again.
So you told him to try to trigger it?
No, I said do anything about disarming it, not triggering it. It's 13. But the guy, he didn't want to look last time. He's probably...
That's because he rolled a natural 1.
Yeah, so he's probably rolling at disadvantage. He's like,
He's
I don't wanna
not.
go back.
And he rolled a 6. So it really, yeah, he's not a great card.
fired.
Mall cop.
So
First day out, he's just like, ugh.
this guard comes in, looking straight up. And he walks in, and you can see every now and then he's tapping the floor with his foot, making sure that it's not going to give away. And then he steps a little closer, and then you can hear just this tiny little pebble fall somewhere else in the house, and you hear him just go, nothing to see here, and he just leaves again. Rez returns and goes, I wouldn't test your luck again, but I'm not the boss. You want me to try again?
No, I didn't want you to trigger. I wanted you to disarm it or something.
Did I see the guards go over?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So telepathically to Rez, because are we within 100 feet of each other?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what? I asked you to just tell him to come back. What are you guys doing over there?
We're coming back.
Is she talking to you right now?
No, we have to go.
I don't listen to you.
So you don't want to go?
I'm not your familiar.
Hey, there's a guy over here! Invisible.
I'm running.
Make an athletics check if you're gonna try to book it right through.
Away.
Yeah. This is about
running and hiding.
Yeah. This is about whether or not
Better
you can,
hiding spot.
because this is going to bring a little bit more attention than just Johnny, the first day guard.
Are you serious?
Wait, athletics check?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What is even my athletics?
Don't worry.
5.
5. Okay.
Fucking asshole. I hate.
No, I'm kidding. I just really wanted to do that.
Help me!
Suddenly, a dragon swoops down. Oh man.
In the dungeon, there is a dragon.
Ori, you book it as fast as you can, and you run. And as soon as you take the first 3 or 4 steps, you face plant down hard.
Fucking asshole!
And so you instantly you feel bruising begin almost in the seam up your face, and a little bit of blood trickles down your nose. Make a stealth check at disadvantage, as now you need to hide. You cannot escape the mansion.
Or I could just like pretend like
Billy
I'm
sees the
supposed to be
commotion, right?
there.
Yeah, I mean that might.
I'm
be
gonna play it off. Yeah, I'm gonna play it
What
off
was your
because
sensor?
I got a 16.
Okay.
Billy
Well-
Oh, sorry.
sees this happening,
Disadvantage. That's a 12.
Presumably, yeah.
Billy runs over.
We all see this happening, right? And do we all hear that?
So
Did I hear Rez?
Yeah, oh,
As
yeah.
soon as I hear his voice, as soon as that happens, I use an action to dismiss him.
okay. Gone.
Sparks.
Maybe we should go over there.
Billy comes running over, like, assuming like the guards are right there.
Yeah, they're like running over, and you can see now the third guard has come around. As they come around, you can hear them just say, "I've called for more help." There are 3 guards now gathered around this door.
Are you telling me that you didn't see him down there the entire time?
They turn. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Am I just still on the ground here and everyone's just gathered around me now?
Yeah, now you're just like on the ground.
I'm gonna get myself up.
Okay. You climb to your feet. You can see they all look to each other a little bit nervous, and then the one who kind of seems to be the most confident, the elf that had like gone past the door, comes back and just says, "Well, not perfect. And who would try to sneak into this place anyways? It burned down."
Who would try to sneak into the estate of Diatre Linsunder, the most secretive hermit who had the most magical of parties? Everyone. And this is of special interest to Hearsome.
And that's why he warded it. So enjoy drawing the wrath of an archfey. Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just there was something here.
What happened to your face?
I got attacked.
We were sent by
Make a deception check.
we were sent by Hearsome to test the defenses and make sure everyone is alert before we arrive in the morning, and to make sure it's safe through the night.
A deception check. Make that an advantage now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the right
Maybe
die
a different die. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's much better. Still not great, but that's a 15.
A 15? Okay. You can see they all look back and forth, and the one who's like a little bit on the younger side just says, "What, I mean, do we really want to report this?" And the one who's a little bit older just turns and just goes,
I think it was Diatre's familiar or something. It came back to probably secure some evidence.
They look back and forth, and then the one who's in charge says, "I don't think it's Diatre. His ship is gone, so I would imagine."
It's not Diatre. We were testing.
Could be anything then.
We were testing it.
Well, all I know is that something hit
Is
me
this
in the back
still a
of the
test?
head.
No, you're done now.
I'm gonna
just be sure it's at. Just be sure to be more on your guard for further,
And already you can hear just like armor as down the spireway there are 3 more guards coming.
Oh well, at least you're well defended. Now
I'm gonna go down and like pick up Ori, like in sort of like a show of like, "Oh my god, you got attacked! Like that's awful! Like let's get you picked up!" Like
Now, we should really be going back. We have conducted our test, and of course now it's done without secrecy. We should just head back and let Hearsome know that, you all do a wonderful job here. And while you didn't come to the alarm spell when it called you,
It did, technically. I just didn't see me.
I mean, look at him.
Look, he just has this big mark straight down his nose. It looks like it almost looks painted on because it's perfectly straight.
Let this just be a little reminder that people of ill repute will try to sneak in.
They all turn and like look at you, and the one who's like younger sidles over just like 2 steps and just goes, "That's kind of harsh."
It's not me. She's
But
not
he turns and just goes, "Thank you.
other
We'll
people.
be on a closer
Ill
guard."
repute. I'm with them.
Come along now. And Billy
I
attempts
do the
to
thing where I throw
usher
his
everyone
arm
away,
over my
like,
shoulder. You know?
The 2 of you carry Ori out against his wishes, and then he frees himself. But you make your way out. No problem.
Billy, that was fantastic.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That little imp is a fucking asshole.
Okay, yeah, I can't deny that. I mean, don't worry, I dismissed him for now. But I
You
asked
really
him.
think you're going to be able to control that?
I mean, did he ask you to come rejoin the group? Like, that's what I asked him to do.
Kind of forgot.
I think you told him to get him back to the group, and
Yeah, but like, I mean, if that's not what he told you to do, if he told you to test that alarm spell
He wasn't
instead,
very,
then...
he's an imp. He didn't really get me to do anything. He told me, but it was after he forgot what you had asked me to do, and then
So did you know
said,
that I wanted you to come back?
help me with this? And then he did the opposite.
Hold on. Did you know that I wanted you to come back or
I
not?
have the best idea.
But I'm
we're
not
gonna
going to listen
go
to you
back
either. I was doing something
to
and he
the
screwed it up.
Manticore, and we're gonna go to bed. And Minka just kind of like loops her arms
just don't think you should
around
be making
Alina
any sort
and
of
Ori's arms, and then
arrangement
just starts
with an
trying
imp
to
who's
like
gonna
walk them
sabotage.
back.
So you have Ori and Alina like fighting over you, which does slow your pace somewhat, but no problem. You begin to make slow progress.
I was going to get down into the...
We're gonna
basement.
go to bed.
And
All of us are gonna
been
go to
fine.
bed.
I disagree. I don't think it would have been.
it would have been fine if your imp didn't do what he did.
If my imp didn't ask you to rejoin the group, which
If
is
your
what I
imp
asked him
didn't
to
shout out my
We're just
location when I was
all
hiding.
gonna go to bed.
You make your way back towards the Wincing Manticore, walking up the lower spire phaseway. And as you do so, there are like these beautiful little butterflies and everything that begin a little bit more plentiful as you get closer up to the top and away from the fire. You can certainly continue to argue. Is there anything that you're doing before getting back to the Manticore? Are you stopping anywhere?
I think Ori's all argued out.
I want to go back and take
Yeah.
a look at that caterpillar.
Okay.
I was gonna go to the candy store, but now, I mean, you know, Raz has not earned his candy, so.
I was going to ask Valis something.
Damn. So you turn around and Valis is walking right back to the way that you came from.
I'll catch up in a minute.
Is he okay on his own? How much of his memory did he lose?
I mean, he's fine.
I like that Ori thinks that Valis is like helpless. Can
He was doing
eat?
well before we were here, so it's probably fine.
Oh, I was doing well before you were here. Look how it turned out.
Billy just kind of like stares at Ori like, we were good, man.
Oh, sorry, I said the thing I was thinking out loud.
Yeah, you did.
Not, no offense to any of you, but I'm gonna go to bed now.
You make your way to bed. Ori, are you just going to bed?
I'm like going to bed, but I'm not going to sleep. I'm gonna go. I'm brooding.
Okay.
Brooding and stuff.
Okay, so you're gonna brood and then sleep?
Meditate.
Okay.
You know, I don't sleep technically. Technically speaking.
So you go do that. Anybody else doing anything before you settle in for the evening?
I'd like to summon Rez so that I can like give him a dressing down.
Yeah, sure.
So I do
Is this like privately in the room?
privately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I go to bed, I slam the door
Yeah,
and then I open it again and I say, "And get that imp in order," and then I slam it again.
So resummoning Rez immediately, the first thing he says is, "Whoa, before you say anything,
Dude, what the hell?
I get the sense you're kind of mad.
I'm very mad.
You told me to get him. Is he not here?
Did I tell you to alert the guards that he was there and ruin the entire thing?
Well, you should be more specific.
Dude. I was under the impression when I met you that you were able to, follow instructions and not get the entire party in trouble.
I can follow instructions. I did. I just interpret them in the way that is most expedient.
Okay, so
He was not leaving, and I asked twice.
okay. In the future, we're not going to do anything that puts any member of this party in harm's way.
So to be really clear about that, from what I've observed, there are times when I could maybe like warn you, and because you guys all fight so much, are you sure?
I mean, okay, so you could have just asked me what to do, and instead
Well, Diatrain never did that thing. That's kind of weird.
the talking thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna practice using that more because I don't like the way that went down. I would say that was a bad choice. and we really want to practice making good choices.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
I would say that is
It's great. It's not quite strength based, but it's definitely person centered.
This is like mild parenting.
Well, this is Hannah using her degree in special education. Persuasion, you said?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a 26, son.
Okay, so he like kind of looks down at the floor and he just goes, "Look, I'm sorry. I didn't want to upset you or anything, but it's just he's so annoying. If you just did what I asked, we would all have just gone away. It would have been perfectly fine.
Okay.
There would have been no trouble."
So, I guess what I'll say, look, I appreciate the apology. Tomorrow you're gonna apologize to Ori too. And I think just what I really like is for you not to make those decisions on your own, okay? I know he's annoying, but now he's gonna be more annoying because he's mad at you.
So because he's an elf and I'm an imp, he can make his own decisions and not listen to you, but I can't?
We
I
made
just
a
want to be
deal.
really clear about this.
We made a deal, right? And you know, I mean, you're a member of this team now, and so that's you and I need to work together.
And so, again, that's working together. This is not a... I gotta think about this now.
Do you?
You can see he just turns.
No luck with your familiars.
Billy's gonna kind of make the rounds.
Alina throws up her hands and just takes Pact of the Blade next. Fuck it.
Sir Nunos! Billy's gonna like stop by Ori's door and just like knock.
Okay.
What?
Just wanted to check and see if you're doing all right. The fall looked pretty bad.
It's just cosmetic, right?
Yeah, but it's like pretty significant cosmetic
I
damage.
probably would have like spent the time to, clean it up before
Yeah.
settling in. I guess through the door. I'm fine, thanks.
All right.
Good night.
Sorry about the thing.
The imp? Fuck the imp. Good night.
He walks off. And then Billy like goes to make his door and is like, ding ding.
He's gonna like open the door, like, yeah.
Sorry about the flub with Diet Tray. I didn't mean
Oh.
to get you hurt.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm not very good at
Talking.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, my mom always said I got myself into more trouble than I got out of it. And now the trouble is a lot more large scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, I'm sorry for burning the mansion down by accident.
Did you cast the fireball? I had missed a lot.
No, after the first fireball, there was a second fireball. And the fact that Alina went through that is phenomenal, actually. After that, there's a large gap.
Oh. I also have a very large gap.
Power nap caps.
Yeah. But the only thing I can think of that really happened that you missed that you would have really liked was definitely Feywin punching the skeleton. I thought you would have gotten a kick out of it, but she got him.
That does sound pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, just wanted to make sure that you're not traumatized. More.
Well, I guess we'll find out together.
Good night.
Good night.
Fair enough.
I think after like talking about like Mika's gonna close the door and then take like the moonsicle out and then just like contemplate about the sunken temple to Saloon. And then be like, and then just kind of like try to parse that.
Okay.
The concept of just like something so big just going to waste with like the mansion burning down and Saloon's temple just being destroyed and sunken and just being like reflecting on how impermanent some of these things are.
Make a nature or religion check.
Second. Nature for a math number. Dirty 20.
Okay. With a dirty 20, that's nature.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about that, you think about this mansion that burned down and this temple that's under the ocean. And absolutely, that's just like both very opulent, beautiful places that are now just gone.
Mm-hmm.
But wasted. That's a very strong word.
Mm.
When you think about that temple, well, yes, it was full of horrible things and an awful place to be. Even as you left, you saw those urchins dispersing. I believe you had even seen sea otters returning to that area.
Mm.
And so without that malevolent magic, even though this place was destroyed and sunken beneath the waves, it created a home for something else.
Mm.
This mansion, burned down though it was, Valis has already made a friend there. There are elements of that are certainly true, but as these things are destroyed, it's not that they're ever gone. Those things just are repurposed in different ways. And thinking about that, maybe, and it's hard to really grasp, but maybe in the chaos of the universe, there is some deeper meaning there. But hard to tell.
Bedtime.
Anybody else have anything they want to do before the evening? Okay. Valis,
We all like
you return over to this caterpillar. Hasn't gone far. Not real fast as this caterpillar. It turns around.
6 years.
Though it has been longer than probably 10 minutes when you get back down there. It turns and it recognizes you. It turns and just looks. And you see, again, the arms all go out and it seems to be trying to communicate.
Oh. I'm out of spell slots, so I'm just gonna. Is it waving at me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just wave back.
Just continues to wave.
Yeah. And then I'll make my way.
Okay. Yeah, free action vibe.
I like those moves.
So you spend some time with this caterpillar, then return, and you take whatever from that you take. You all can mark off a long rest.
We did it, guys.
did we do it?
Was this like a butterfly caterpillar?
Yes.
Like,
As far as
Maybe it's
make a nature check.
I want to make a nature check to see if I would know what, like, we would
Sure.
metamorphosize into. Oh man.
Part of the Pepperline
6.
family?
Rolls have not been good today. 6.
You have seen all manner of like these kind of worm-like or grub-like or caterpillar-like creatures, and they can turn into any number of things. So hard to tell. Maybe a butterfly, maybe a moth,
Okay.
maybe a slug.
Mm-hmm.
But no problem. You make your way back. All of you can mark off a long rest, and the sun rises on the 16th.
16th of summertime. Summertime.
Who's the first person to wake up?
Probably me, because I sleep 4 hours.
There you go. What time are you going downstairs?
What time did I leave the situation?
So you guys leave the mansion situation probably close to like 1:20, 1:30. Yes.
Okay. I just want to
We
make
were
sure.
there for 12 hours.
You were there for in 30 minutes. It took you like 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
You
Like, what time would I be back at the Wincing Manticore?
probably like 2:30 in the morning.
All right, I'd probably go to bed like 4, wake up at like 8.
Okay, no problem. So going downstairs, you would first of all smell fantastic smells. You smell like sizzling bacon. You smell some kind of like a smoky, spicy, maybe sausage of some kind.
Here's back, right? We gotta get.
And as you go down, you do see seated at this table with this opulent feast laid out on this beautiful golden tray. Here's wearing the traditional garb, this incredibly handsome red-headed satyr. But he turns and he says, "Ah, Ori, good morning.
Good morning, Harrison.
Will the rest of your group be joining us?"
They should be down in a few hours.
Well, we can begin. What is it that you plan to do? This concerns you more than most.
Well, whatever we end up doing will probably be after consulting with one another and coming to a group decision. But it does seem likely that our investigation will lead us west in some capacity.
Yeah, wrong music. That was a little too tender.
That was a nice moment.
This is a nice moment.
Is there something you wanted to tell me?
It's your feelings.
Here's some nods. And he says, my thoughts exactly. I could think of 2 courses of action that might yield good results for us. Whichever you do not choose, I will follow through with.
Well, what are you suggesting?
This substance that you found. There is one person who I know will have answers for us. Resinbeard, the current council member in the... Oh gosh, I'm killing my own lore here. Give me 1 second here.
In the Tower of the Crushed Blossom?
In Salaheim, the capital of the Magiocracy. They have lived a long time. They know more than most.
And the other suggestion?
The other suggestion... Give me just 1 moment here. My notes are a little out of order now because I didn't think the whole mansion would burn down.
We let it cook for a little.
If the Dark One is concerned, that means that there is something happening within the dome. We could go to the Divine Court and see if we can venture further towards the Sentinel Woods.
Look directly at the dome.
Correct.
Well, neither of those seem particularly appealing to me, so I think we should probably wait until everyone else comes, and then I'll just go along with the least appealing.
Very well. Can I interest you in breakfast?
Sure.
And you can see just this huge spread. There is like different kinds of toast. There's different kinds of breakfast sausages, like a spicy chorizo situation. There are these really fancy looking breads that are twisted up into little animals. All kinds of things. Beautiful breakfast spread.
Just gonna kind of like grab a plate and sit there, but kind of keep my head down a bit and, you know, keep an eye on Hearsome, make sure he's not like observing me too closely.
Okay.
You know,
The 2 of you.
trying to be like, this is fine and everything's cool, but also like I'm pretty uncomfortable.
The very first time that you kind of glance over, he's staring directly at you and he says, I'm watching you.
Is something wrong?
No,
Am I not supposed to eat some of this?
you are welcome to eat. I invited you. But I'm always watching.
Okay, well now I've sort of lost my appetite, for being perfectly honest.
He smiles. Who wakes up second?
Probably me.
Okay,
I also only need 4 hours of sleep.
there you
So
go.
I'll probably come down shortly after.
Cool. You make your way down, same exact thing. Beautiful spread of breakfast. Hearsome says, Valis, welcome. Please help yourself.
Oh, don't mind if I do. Start grabbing a big plate of this delicious looking food.
Yeah, huge, almost like huge, long, and this platter, for what it's worth, extends a little bit over the bar, so it's probably close to like 5 feet long, and just loaded with different food. So absolutely great. Is it still a continental breakfast if it's on Everest? I know. I honestly,
continent?
I don't understand what a continental breakfast is.
It's like
You know it when you see it, though,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's how I feel about it, but I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't like that. I can't, like, if somebody's like, hey, what's a continental breakfast? I can't answer that. And I dislike not being able to answer. Neither here nor there.
Some little things of cereal.
little fruit plate.
You make your way down, you have this whole breakfast in front of you. Is there anything that you're doing before other people wake up?
Yeah. So as does land vehicle count as a tool?
No.
Okay.
Oh, because sorry.
Hey, I like that. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yo.
I'm gonna switch out that feature, but I'll have to pick something else.
Okay,
You know,
it's a good idea.
how much of the Oceanlock do you remember, if anything?
The what?
The Oceanlock?
Just kidding. From what I know, they've taken away. Their general policy is that they take away everything related to the alleged plagiarism.
So
Well, that's the
you
official policy, of
That's
course.
the official policy.
Still remember things like floor plans, locations.
Do I?
No, definitely not. That's definitely gone. Yeah.
No.
I figured as much. Oh. All right. Well, what are you eating there?
I can probably tell you where in the city is because I think I remember most of the city except for this
know
one
what it is in
hole.
the city.
So it's probably that hole in my memory. That's
It's
probably
one
it.
building. I just can't quite picture
I
it.
can't
so-
remember what was in this. It's probably that building.
Like when you've unlocked that.
It's where that one
I haven't
SRV
sent my
from like
troops over there yet.
It's the one Terran that's up on the map.
tower.
So you eat your breakfasts. Who's getting up next? Alina, you wake up.
All right, so the first thing I do when I wake up is, in a panic, look around and see if I can see or sense where Rez is.
Okay. You
Because I
look
realized
around.
that I did not dismiss him before I went to sleep.
You can see on the far table, very similar. I think it was Bucci that fell asleep like this, where their face and Rez is just slowly slumped over, like in there, like kind of being angry at you, and now their face is just flat on the table. Their butt and like legs still also on the table, and they're just like flat. You hear like little snores.
Gucci is my cat.
So I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Rez, time to get
I'll
up."
have some kippers. What?
Hey, it's morning. Oh, can I hear like voices downstairs? Like, do I know that?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I know that Hirsim's here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, we still have some things to talk about, right? We need to get on the same page, but Hirsim is here, and I think it would be safer for you if you keep a low profile while he's present. And then once Hirsim's gone, you and I can make sure we talk. We'll get things right with Ori, and we'll see if this group can just be a proper team.
I want to be really clear. I'm still mad at you, but
I'm still mad at you too.
But did you
Yeah.
just wake me up to tell me to go back to sleep?
No. I want you down there with me.
Okay.
Just invisible.
Invisible.
Thanks, bud.
You feel he doesn't fly. He just like you feel your arm jerk down. And he just climbs up your arm.
That's fine. That's fine.
You hear a loud yawn, but you can make your way down, no problem. Billy and Minka, if you want at any point, you can join. But the morning passes, and there is this beautiful breakfast for whoever does make it down. Once you have all kind of gathered together, or is there anything that anybody wants to do before going downstairs? Okay.
I think Meg would probably get there at the tail end of breakfast.
Yeah.
Billy would probably just get there like just before Minka, but not by much. Probably like here's Minka awake and like getting ready to like be presentable downstairs, and Billy just
After Hearsome was like, I'm always watching,
Yeah.
I would have been trying to sort of, what is the implication? Does he already know that we went to
Make an insight
place
check.
last night?
Yeah,
And he
make
was
an
like,
insight check.
I'm on to you.
Make
Or
an
is it
insight
just
check.
like he's fucking Hearsome? Goddamn. Um, 15.
Hard to tell, but it's
15.
hard to tell, but it seems pretty clear that he's always watching you.
Okay.
And so probably he does have his eye on
And
you.
I'll
Yeah.
just be like, yep, I'm gonna keep eating and just keep my head down.
You all find your way downstairs one by one to this breakfast. And so finally gathered together, Hearsum says, now that we're all here, I've already laid out for Ori several options. And then Hearsum goes into these options, tells you about Resinbeard, tells you about this Divine Court.
The dome.
And at the end of that, he says, I am happy to do either one. I must return to the Feywild briefly in between. Which would you prefer? Or, if you have some other way of dealing with this, a different way of tracking down elements of the fracturing, please.
I think you asked us yesterday, what is the fracturing? And I think after piecing the information together, it seems to be a group of people, entities, of which Diatray was one of.
That's a good start.
Well, does anybody have any thoughts? I mean, you're from the Magiocracy.
I have no strong opinions either way in which direction we go,
Well,
because we're going.
Did you say there were hags in the dome?
You're asking Hearsum? Yes.
I was about to say our track record with speaking to people is kind of shaky right now. Maybe it'd be better if we go investigate the dome.
Upon seeing Billy smile, Alina's like, I'm happy to go to the dome.
I, for one, would prefer to follow the Trail of Flowers, but if I understand Diatray will take that upon himself, then I'm happy to go with you and help at the dome.
Now do be warned, this will involve talking. The Divine Court has not allowed anybody to pass by in close to 80 years, I believe. At least not from the material plane. They will take convincing.
We can handle that. Some of us are better at talking than others.
The Divine Court supersedes the Treaty of Four Seasons in their role of guarding the dome. So they are not beholden to your badge. You will need to convince them.
Is there anything you can do to support us in that? Any bits of information or pieces of advice you have?
Remind them that they're the reason the dome exists in the first place.
Okay, I'm sure we'll find a nice way to say that. Okay, well, anything else we should know?
I would recommend taking passage from the Volbruns and crossing Tarkana Lake. Otherwise, you could walk, but that will lengthen the journey significantly. If you would prefer to take more terrestrial routes, as your time at sea was evidently very adventurous, we can also arrange for carts, although again, that will take much longer.
Well, we might need to figure out among ourselves which route to go.
Would I know the quickest route based on my background of knowing everywhere that I've ever been and also having been
so
in
very
that area?
technically, I mean, the fastest route anywhere, in the middle of the Emerald Spire, there's an opening to the Feywild that is always open.
Zip, zip.
There, that would be the fastest way.
Right.
It's pretty chaotic, and there's no real guarantee that you would get out.
I guess fastest, and also, meeting that threshold of safety to not.
You gotta check off the correct settings on Google
Yeah.
Maps.
Yeah. Right.
I have to apply all my filters.
I gotta pull up
I don't
my
want to pay
smaller
tolls,
maps.
but I want to get there quickly.
Exactly. I want to avoid highways, but I'm okay with tolls. Second here. So you would know, Ori, the best place to take off from would be probably, from like the Volburn camp. The only thing is when you would go from the Magiocracy, not that the Magiocracy has much reason, but if you were to go, you would take ships that are secure with like magic users that could keep the creatures of Tarkana Lake at bay. Without that, that would be pretty difficult. There are significantly dangerous creatures there. Okay. You would probably make a history check.
Do I get history thingy?
Not Feywild.
It's like within the region, though, right?
No, this is very much in the middle of Everest. The center.
I mean, the region of the tower.
Yeah. I mean, the tower it overlooks Tarkana Lake on like a little like cliff kind of deal.
Okay. That's a 14.
With a 14, you don't really know a ton about these creatures. You've heard about them. I would say you know about the most famous one. This is something that is called the Greater Tarkana Stormcaller Catfish. It is a 16-foot long catfish with this like dark calico-looking skin, and it has these like curling, prehensile whiskers almost that it uses electricity to detect prey with. But that same ability seems to have this atmospheric element to it that when it gets close to the surface, reacts with a storm.
Gotcha. Lightning rods.
Very much like that, yeah. Cool. And you've heard, I mean, there are certainly things that people talk about that are much worse than that, but probably just, rumors. Fairy tales.
Urban legends.
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of mulling everything over, but still relatively quiet.
Anything else you can give us in the way of supplies? Really anything helpful?
Is there anything in particular that you need?
I mean, if you have any magic items that could help us, we're a little light on magic items, and Cheshire's not around right now, so.
It did occur to me that you were a bit ill-equipped. One of the reasons that I am returning to the Feywild is to draw a more current location on some items of interest. I think things that could support all of you in becoming your best selves. It has been many years since I've had even an inkling as to where one of them is. So it will take a little bit of time. That being said, if you need something more mundane, for the time being, I can provide that.
Quilly breaks out of her reverie and is just like, oh, you said we should talk to the Divine Court. We probably won't be able to just walk up and say, hey, we'd like an audience. A name that would get us in the door would be helpful.
1 second here. Make a persuasion check. Actually, no, you don't have to make a persuasion check for that. I mean, you can if you want.
No, okay.
Tell them Jeff sent you.
Look for this guy, Jeff. He's great. Okay.
On the 5th day, look to Jeff.
Look to Jeff.
A red sun rises this Jeff.
Hey, don't get on Jeff. Jeff is a great guy. Oh gosh,
Just a red sun's rising on him.
Not if he spells it with a G.
G off.
G off.
G off. G off, man.
The Divine Court is only permitted to have 5 members within their hall at any given time. The person that you will seek out is an individual known as the Prince in Solitude.
Do any of these names mean anything to me?
The font that you used to speak was very interesting. Go ahead and make a history check.
Does this get my history buff?
No.
It's 14.
Sounds pretty royal.
Prince in Solitude, right? Not
Sounds
Prince
like,
of Solitude.
In Solitude.
Name
And so
of
that's
one
how
of the
we should address
divine-
him? He doesn't have any other name or...
He'll find you. And when he does approach, yes, you can call him the Prince in Solitude, although I do not think it will come up.
Okay.
What is it that you want us to do at the dome? Just to simply peer at it?
I want to make sure it's still intact and that there is no way out. If there are things seeping out, it won't be too long until this dam breaks, and all of the things that are trapped within will return to Everest.
And I will be there.
I would like
Ignore
to ask
that.
more mundane. Could you commission a more protective set of armor for me?
What kind of armor?
Full plate?
That might be a bit taxing on me, but I could certainly accommodate half plate.
Very well.
Is there a style that you have in mind, some kind of family crest, something to separate this from the mundane?
Anything from your memories.
The family.
Yes, the crest of birch billow.
File not found.
Elf with antlers that of the birch tree.
Very well.
And adorned with leaves and antlers on the pauldron.
Goes over and to like the regular like mundane armor that you are wearing, which is I believe chainmail.
Yes.
He goes over and just touches it, and as he does, it's like each individual chain link straightens and becomes solid before it just begins to buff it out into these angles and shapes. And all of a sudden, as this like elongates and stretches, and this the pauldrons do become these almost like when you look at them straight on. You know the cow like skulls that people for some reason have up on their walls? It's like that, but like the deer head and then the antlers that come out. The antlers themselves are not physical material, so as they like poke out, there's like little thin bits of metal, but most of it seems to be like the elements of your cloak that come up and around like this. And so like it has these probably not super aerodynamic, but looks cool. You have half plate.
Leans down to Alina and it's just like, well, we know who the favorite child is.
He turns and he says, "Once more, very seldom is it that you have asked anything of me. Would you like armor?"
Not half plate. Sorry.
And I'm the
You know where you can get a pickaxe?
Would you like a pickaxe?
Yes.
And at this, you just hear, and Crispy goes, "I've got this one." And he just, is him lugging a pickaxe up the stairs, and he just scrapes it up and like leans it against the bar.
Perfect.
I mean, I already have armor that's about as protective as I'm going to be able to wear, but I mean, we don't really have that much money, and this is going to be kind of a lengthy journey. We don't know what we're going to come across and what might be helpful.
money is usually pretty helpful.
If I may suggest something, Alina.
Uh-huh.
Maybe some chocolate.
Thank you, Valis.
As a bargaining chip.
So anyway, as I was saying, money, which we can use to buy things like chocolate.
You can exchange money for goods and services.
Yes. So really,
Sorry.
I mean...
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
With the-
anytime, I always feel like anytime we encounter a situation where money would be beneficial, I never have any. So, if that's something you can help us with.
Of course.
I've signed you up for a money management course.
Oh man, I've got you this pamphlet. He reaches into his pocket and he says, "What is chocolate now?" And he just kind of tosses 100 gold pieces that just what's a banana? And as he throws it,
What's a can of
it is like it is like 5 gold pieces in his hand, but then the pocket like a slot machine, and it is 100 gold pieces that just kind of hit the ground and the counter.
Thanks, God. Thank you. Wow, this is really helpful.
And thank you for the armor.
Of course.
And my axe.
Bag of holding probably is not mundane.
Not something that I'm able to easily make, although Crispy. And Crispy looks, and suddenly he looks a little cross, and Crispy just goes, "But I use it for my things." And Hearsome goes, "Crispy, it has been some time since you've adventured. I think you can part with it." And Crispy just goes, "You're bringing this back to me."
I'll take such good care of it.
I'll make sure she does.
She'll make sure I do.
If we find another one, I'll buy you a new one.
We won't lose it.
You're not going to lose it.
I won't lose it.
He runs downstairs. You hear all these like things falling out, and then he trots back up with this relatively mundane brown sack. He holds it out, and like for just a moment you can see it's hard for him to let go of this, but he looks once more at Hearsome and then here.
Thank you. Is it a bag of holding or is it just like a
It's
bag?
a bag of holding.
Yay! I'm gonna take really good care of it, and I very carefully and like gently wear it, and I'm like, oh,
It's a magical item. It won't get ruined, but just don't lose it.
I won't lose it.
Hearsome straightens up and just goes, "Is there anything else?"
We should probably take the ships, guys.
Yeah. It's that
I'm fine.
faster we get there, the faster maybe hag killing. We're okay with the ships.
Very well. And as you've already had a look at the mansion, I imagine you're ready to go. So I will take my leave, as I have a much further journey than you.
Could you let your guards know that we'd like to take another look at the mansion this morning before we go? So they let us in?
If you wish.
Thank
Very
you.
well. He kind of gives a gentle bow and leaves.
Have a safe trip.
He turns and you can see just a little smile and a little bit of a twinkle in his eye, but he doesn't say anything.
Hashtag save me cat.
So you are left in the Wincing Manticore, and what would you all like to do?
Just make sure I didn't miss that. Did he just... He knew we were there last night, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
He likes to lord information over people.
Crispy, thank you for the axe and the bag.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna make
We
a
really
huge
do.
difference.
Oh,
do
Crispy,
appreciate
when
all
we
your
come
help.
back with the bag, of course.
Of course.
I'd love to hear more about your adventuring days.
It's been a long time. But maybe. Ori, I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, you bet you will.
Okay, I've got to go get everything started for the day, so best of luck to all of you. Runs downstairs.
Gonna miss you, bud.
Be
So,
back.
are you all making your way out and towards the lake?
Yeah.
It's like a trek, right?
Not really.
To get to, like, the divine court.
Oh yeah. That's
To get to the lake is not.
Yeah, the lake is maybe like the lake is the same physical distance as it is for you guys to get to a little bit closer than Hopewell, so it's not very far. Crossing the lake might take a little bit longer, but a lot of that depends on the wind too.
Yeah. And the aforementioned bad things.
No, there's nothing bad. There's no bad stuff.
What about the catfish?
Make your way out.
Did we want to go to the mansion one last time?
Oh yeah. Also.
Oh yeah, there's two places I want to go before we head off to the
Yeah,
lake.
sure.
The mansion and the candy shop.
Okay. So the candy shop is like right out into the left and just like maybe, I don't know, 50 feet down the street. So you can definitely start there. But because it is 8:45, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back to the candy shop. No, not that. We'll be back in 10 minutes. It is 8:45. We'll be back at 8:55. and welcome back to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. When we last left off, give me 1 second here. All right, so you, on your way out of the spire, wanted to stop in the candy store. Oh, and that's what I meant to pull up.
I also would like to go to the candy store. I was going there. You don't have to tell me to go there. Sorry, I'm teasing you. Didn't go very well.
You know what? It went great. I think everybody enjoyed it. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so you get out of the Wincing Manticore and turn left along the Warm and Welcome Way, and you make your way over to a shop on the right, a little bit further down. Even early in the morning, there's 2 or 3 kids who are here, although not like clustered around like they were when you first saw it. This is a place called Crystal Crest. There are little magical motes of color that hover around the emerald sign that reads that. And there are all kinds of little sweets that fill the space. There is a furbog who is like filling these glass jars with different colored sweets. But yeah, no problem. You can go in there. And what are you looking for, Valis?
Cheap chocolate, because I don't have a lot of gold.
Okay.
Getting chocolate for a fucking imp asshole.
I mean, I would have gone. Did I know that? Did you say that's where you were going? Because I would have. I'm going with you too.
Okay, yeah. You guys can make your way in, no problem. So this furbog looks up. He has like a little apron on. Very much, this is like the soda shop owner. And so they lean. They're very tall. They lean over this counter, almost 8 feet tall. Is this furbog? What they say? Yeah, can I help you?
Hello, I'm just looking for some chocolate.
Oh, we have a little bit, but I'm terribly sorry. It's in the machine. And he kind of gestures, and you can see in the front of the counter, there is a gnomish gumball machine. This is a complex contraption that has a glass dome full of all these small little wooden, what look almost like pods. And the furbog explains each one of those has a different candy in them, and there are some chocolates in there, but there was a party that cleaned us out last night. Anything else I can get you? We have hard candies.
I'm gonna telepathically to Rez, who I presume is like on my shoulder still, be like, "Hey, what other kind of candy do you like?"
You can hear him just go, that's not even real chocolate, whatever's in there. This guy is full of shit.
Okay, we'll keep working on it. And then I'm like, I think I'm good, thanks.
Okay. The furbog just kind of nods and says, well, I mean, we'll get some more chocolate in on Thursday. So if you want to come back then, I can definitely help you out. Do you want me to put some aside for you?
Couldn't hurt.
Okay.
Couldn't hurt. We're gonna leave on a trip, but unsure when we'll be back. But we'll definitely have some. You have some aside for us.
Great. What's the name?
Jeff.
Valis.
Shouldn't have been that hard of a question, but all right, Alice. Yeah, just come back sometime after Thursday. You make your way up.
Did you tell me that Rez does not like the chocolate in the gumball machine?
I wouldn't say it in the store, but on the way out. But
Okay, because I'm going to put my money in the machine right now. Actually, how much is it in the machine?
So it's a silver piece to put in, so this is expensive.
I'm gonna like put my hand on his shoulder and be like, that's okay. We don't need it from the gumball machine or the whatever it is from the gnome ball machine.
Okay. I'll put a silver in anyways.
Sure. You crank the knob. Roll a D100.
$30.
With a 30. So flat 30?
Yes.
Okay. So you crank this little knob and the single silver piece disappears, and you can hear it like ting, 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 disappear into the contraption. And this whole pile of little wooden pellets shakes, and you hear this and the little door like rattles. And so peering in, you can see this little wooden case, and if you open it, slightly glowing, there is a small green round hard candy that is slightly opaque, a little bit clearer to the exterior. It feels a little bit magical. And as you hold it in your hands, the furbog says, oh, hey, that's one of the special ones. It's only a little magical, but it'll make you glow or all kinds of different things.
Oh. Thank you.
It only lasts about 10 minutes, so no big deal if you don't like the effect you get.
All right. Is it definitely a glow, or is it?
Oh, it could be all kinds of things.
Okay. Well, this one's for me.
Turn into a cow.
Oh no. Are there any other candy stores in town?
I mean, none that are like on the way out.
Okay.
You would imagine probably somewhere around here there is a candy store.
No, that's okay. I'll just since Rez seems like content to just leave it for now, then I will. But I'd like to make it known that I'm going to have a running effect of always keeping my ears and eyes open for a place where I can get chocolate.
Okay, no problem. I'll keep that in mind. For what it's worth, very much, the imp is also always on the lookout for chocolate. So
We're a good team then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you make it. There's one other place that you guys wanted to go.
Did we want to hit up the mansion?
I guess I'll just
I mean-
kind of follow wherever
It'd be
Billy
good to
and
get some
Minka
funds.
are going at this point.
I don't mind going to the mansion. I mean, it's not like
Here are my thoughts.
Mhm.
My thoughts are, we go, we see if there are any books left. At the very least, a book is worth something. So maybe we could use it either as a bargaining chip, or we can find out cool information. I don't know. There's a lot about knitting, I think.
I would guess that any books that were there, Hirson has probably taken, like the one that was also given to him.
Well, you never know. And also, if maybe a book was half on fire, there might still be half good information in there. Anyway, there's that lockbox, you can give it a try. We can also take a better look at the sarcophagus in the basement. Maybe we can get some idea if we can figure out anything about the magical nature of it. Maybe we can figure out a better idea of Diatre's overarching plans. It'll give us a hint of where he's going or what he's doing. Or,
it won't
That
hurt
was
to
it.
have the full run of the house now this time.
yeah. And it's
All
already half
excellent
on
ideas.
fire.
I am on board, Minka.
I'm on board
We
too.
can't make it worse. So if it collapses, it was going to collapse anyway.
We just want to make sure it doesn't collapse on us.
Right.
Yeah, no problem. So you make your way over to the mansion, returning for the third time in only about 10 hours.
On the way while we're walking, because you said it takes about 40 minutes, right?
45 minutes. Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of sidle up to Ori, be like, "Hey, so had a talk with Rez. We're definitely gonna work on doing better. I kind of wish that that you had been more willing to be open to do what he had asked, because it wasn't him, it was me, and we're on the same team here. And he definitely should not have alerted the guards. And so
Wasn't very forceful in his attempt, other than totally blowing up my spot.
yeah, so we're gonna definitely work on that.
I feel like you
But
should maybe work on the fact that you've made a deal with an imp.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's totally fine. So anyway, I think, and I'm gonna
Don't
be
even
like,
need
Rez,
to
are
hear
you
for
ready
see
to?
that?
Rez, are you ready to talk to Ori?
This imp just appears, and he looks at you, Ori, and he says, "I'm really sorry for my actions. I didn't mean any offense to you, and if I hurt you in any way, I'm really sorry."
You just know that I'm the only one who's got chocolate.
No, I mean it. Alina was, make an insight check. He says, Alina told me that we really do need to work together as a team, and I can kind of understand. 24 seems like he's full of shit. This is absolutely a false apology, and you get the sense that this is really aimed towards making you seem like the piece of shit, because he thinks that you are not going to accept this.
Right.
And so Alina is going to be like, come on, or he's being so nice. So he's just going to be as nice as he possibly can at this moment.
Okay. I'm gonna turn the tables on him. So he's saying all this shit, and I'm like, I appreciate your apology. I do think we should work together. And as a token of my appreciation, I'm gonna give you another piece right now.
He looks like all of a sudden, like the ears go up, the wings, and he goes, really?
Now, you got to remember, we've only got a few more, so make it count. But, as a token of goodwill,
Maybe you should just give me a half of a piece.
I'm kind of trying to impart thieves' cant. I don't think that
He doesn't speak
would know,
thieves' cant.
so yeah. It's like, alright.
Just consumes the entire thing. Can't even help himself. You give him the full thing, so it's gone. And he just goes, oh, that just hit the spot. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
So while you're both here, actually, this might be a good... What happens when I run out of chocolate? What are you gonna do?
Probably freak out a little bit, truthfully. I mean, yeah. It's not going to be pretty.
Huh. Alright.
Hopefully it won't come to that, because, we got some money. I'll be keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
And if it's not... I mean... This is Diatrace chocolate.
Look, I know it's not all going to be that good, but, I mean, it's going to be better than whatever the fuck was in there.
Well, fair enough. Well, I hope that we can stay on agreeable terms and you can enjoy more of this delicious chocolate.
He turns to you, Alina, and says, thanks for negotiating this. It's hard saying sorry, and it did work out better.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I never roll well when it comes to insight checks with this fucking imp. 5.
You are doing such a good job. You have single-handedly reformed Diatrace's familiar in a single day. Damn, Alina. Good job.
I'm doing so good, you guys. Okay, so Alina's gonna be like, wow, you guys, great work. I'm so proud of you both. And in the future, for my part, I'll make sure that I'm really clear, if I ask you to do something, and then for your part, we'll make sure to communicate more so that if you're not sure what I meant or something unexpected happens, you can just ask, and then we can figure it out together because we're a team, right?
And then in your head you hear, and we can do this now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telepathically, I'm like, yeah.
Or
and then I
you
give
just
him a
see
little telepathic high five.
Alina and the Emperor just go like this back and forth. But no problem. Telepathic high five, high 3.
This is worse than I thought.
So no problem. You make your way back to the mansion as all this is happening. And when you arrive, there are probably close to 20 Lexagi, give or take, now combing through. They have significantly, after your dressing down, Billy, reinforced this site. And so before you even get to the bottom of the spire phase, you're initially stopped by some guards, but you can see just beyond them, there is another one that just says, "It's okay, let them through." And still injured, you can see long blonde hair. This Lexagi who had been badly injured in your original fight in the
at the Coliseum.
Sparkle Feather Downs, yeah. Still a little injured, but looking a lot better. On his feet, still working now, at least. But the Lexagi stand aside and you can walk right into the mansion.
Before we approached, I would have asked Rez to be invisible.
Yeah,
I think the name of the game is if there's people around, he's invisible. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd say we should spread out, but I don't know. Are people comfortable doing that? This place is pretty shitty.
I'll go check the basement. I'm gonna go check the basement.
Okay. You go over to the kitchen. Just kind
Being
of
careful,
through.
again, having gone through it yesterday.
Yeah, no problem. Make a survival check.
I'll also check the basement with him.
Make a survival check as well.
Or good survival.
Ooh, natural 20.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh.
Mine's 23.
23. Okay. With
For a total of 20.
okay. With a natural 20, as soon as you guys get to the kitchen, and there are people who are pulling rubble aside, and there have been some wooden posts that have been erected to try to make this a little bit safer to go through. But when you get to the basement and you get to the stairs, it is almost entirely collapsed down. And so very much, if I didn't make this clear yesterday, the basement has collapsed. The entire basement has collapsed. If you look at the square footage of it, 0 is where it is now. There may be a few gaps between the elements of rubble, but whatever was there will take, with the exception of using some kind of very powerful magic, weeks to get out. That being said, with a natural 20, Valis, you follow the elements of rubble, kind of looking into the spaces where there are cracks and like navigate to the direction of where this tunnel would be. And you get the sense that the tunnel leads to the coast. It certainly heads off to the northeast, and thinking about how the geography wraps around, it either pops out in the middle of a mountain or it winds down and probably heads towards the coast. And you had actually overheard somebody say, I believe, that Lunsunder's ship was gone. And so all that together kind of leads you to believe this probably does lead to the coast. There's at least one tunnel here, if not more. But the way to enter through Lunsunder's collapsed.
Well, looks like we're not getting those keys. I'm gonna go check a different.
I'm gonna go look where the box is.
Okay. So you go over and you have to like climb a mountain of wreckage to get here. It's on the second floor, and most of the second floor has collapsed. This very much over where like the foyer is, and so up against the wall, not terribly damaged. You can see like this huge bed. The floor is like collapsed in, but perfectly circle around it. You can see like this sphere of clear area, and sitting on the ground is this same box. There's no debris that has touched anywhere around it.
Okay. Can I do an Arcana check to see if I can tell more specifically what's going on with
make an
this
Arcana
box? It's not good. 8.
Some spooky shit.
Yeah, it is spooky. So I'm gonna get like as close as I dare. I'm gonna like reach out a toe and just kind of like tap the
As you reach out your toe
area.
in your ear, Rez goes, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, no, okay, I won't do that. What's the deal with this thing? What do you know?
Again, really nothing, but this is not good. And if a whole house can come down and this can stay like this, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
My wings are shivering.
All right, well, do you have any suggestions for, like, I mean, you said we probably can't get to the keys. That makes sense. The basement's, like, totally collapsed.
I mean, maybe in the yellow room, maybe the key there is pretty safe. So
The yellow room, the room that the chocolate was in.
Oh, yeah, right. The chocolate's also in that room.
Fine, let's go check out the yellow room.
Okay. Unfortunately, very badly damaged in the yellow room. And so, like, as you get there, his whole body, like, collapses. This is like a toddler who is just like, no,
like
my chocolate! And he just, you know, like, just cries. There's, like, one or two guards that look over, but he's still invisible. So, like,
Pat,
yeah, no problem.
Don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay. Pat.
I've got 7 pieces left.
Just
for what it's
sobs.
worth.
But, Minka, what are you doing?
I think she would like to go look for where the library was to see if there are any books that are at least partially salvaged.
Download us.
Make an investigation check.
Yeah.
At disadvantage.
Okay.
From Talon's Woe.
As if there's not enough woe here already.
That's kind of the name of our game is Whoa.
The woe during hearts.
Okay. Is it investigation?
Yeah.
Okay, so total 15.
15. Okay, not bad. This is a place that is badly charred, and with the nature of books, they didn't do very well in the fire, unfortunately. But as you reach this place, I will say it does appear there's an area on one of the shelves that, though it was burned, less so. There's not a single book on that shelf. This is not the area where there was anything on knitting. This was really in that area where there were scary stories. And those are all gone.
Okay. All right. So, last thing she's gonna do is, if she can see where the thing is, the giant box that Alina is so curious about, should go over to it and cast find traps on it.
Okay. You go over to this chest. You can see Alina still kind of looking at it, just kind of stroking her shoulder, saying, there. And as you look at this box and you cast detect traps, nothing.
Oh, that's interesting. It's not trapped.
Really?
It's odd.
I mean, it could be like enchanted or.
Wait, what kinds of traps were you looking for? Billy pulls out her dagger and like kind of shoves it into the lid a little bit and begins to kind of like try and pry it off.
Okay. Uh-oh. So you're trying to pry your way into which?
The box.
The box.
The one in the bedroom? Or
Cool.
I want these guys.
Like the box.
You cross over and you put your hand on the lid, you take your dagger, and you just dig it in.
It's been well for me yesterday.
There isn't really a seam. You can feel that there is like a little hole, but this is probably the kind of thing that it's flat and there's a little thing that sticks up and the lid is set down along this lip, and so you can't really reach the dagger in because it's hitting something. Also, as this is a metal lid, probably at least 200 pounds, and so to be able to pry it open with a dagger, that's a tough ask.
Yeah, worth a shot.
But she's standing on the debris-free area, like
Certainly.
without any consequence.
Yeah, and you can see as Billy walks over, tracks a little bit of debris into the circle.
Okay.
My servant was able to just like go up and touch it, and theoretically it would have triggered it.
I use
I'll walk
my eye
over.
for detail to locate any hidden details or
Make an investigation
features
check.
about this.
Sure.
Oh, we're all there now?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, the only thing we could do is we could try to melt it, but considering it was on super fire, it did not melt. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be a waste of time.
I can't fit it in my bag of holding, can I?
You would need to lift it, but I mean, in
Can't like
theory,
shimmy it around.
it doesn't like parse matter in that way. But yeah, I mean, in theory, it would fit in if you could lift it and put it into it.
Dirty 20.
A dirty
how
20.
heavy does it look?
I mean, just like quick glance, it looks at least as heavy as like a boulder. It's a almost coffin-sized metal container. Pretty thick walls too, and it's lead. It's not like a light metal.
Do you want me to try to lift it and put it in the bag?
With a
Sorry, go
20.
ahead.
I think it's just too big. Like the mouth of the bag can't fit around it, right?
The mouth of the bag can magically stretch.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, it's just about this being
Oh,
a
you're
very
saying you don't
large
mean
thing.
pick it up and put it. You mean like lift it.
And then you could like slide the bag over perhaps.
Yeah.
With a 20, as you look around, kind of like glancing, you can see very clearly, first of all, where Billy has stepped in, debris is tracked in. That perfect circle, no longer a perfect circle. And as like the wind goes through, you can hear like the flapping of the owls, and you hear like the little bits of plant matter that are growing along the spireway, like rustling in this breeze. You can like just barely kind of recognize that there is a shift in the sound, but hard to tell what that means. There are wind currents. You can hear like voices of guards who are talking. There is shifting in rubble, but it feels like when Billy walked over there, something changed.
Does it seem like this is another kind of like the alarm string, something that had been placed after the fire, or like after Diatre escaped, or is this something that had been active when
Hard to
Diatre
tell.
had it? Okay.
I had an idea, but Hannah doesn't know if it would work. So I have my ring,
Okay.
which I can enter once a day and take any objects with me. Before we get into whether it's actually safe to bring this thing into the ring, just
You want to know, can you like hug this big box and then no. I love that idea. But no.
Come on.
I don't know. I was gonna bring a whole body in there. I don't
I
know.
was gonna grab a dragon and just shove him into a little fishbowl.
Yeah, the
But
implications.
it's more. But
of
it's
it
not a
is like-
fishbowl. It's a whole space that we talked about.
Actually, the
Like,
implications of it are pretty. When you
Yeah.
really get into the math of Pact of the Genie, yeah, It's not
Okay,
great.
that's fair. Okay, in that case, I mean, I'm certainly on board with trying to get it into the
Something
bag of holding.
happened when you stepped in there.
Billy's like still in the circle. It's like, oh,
I don't know. Something's off now.
what makes me very comfortable.
It's not supposed to.
Can I, would you allow like another Arcana check with this new piece
Yeah.
of
Oh
information?
yeah, this is definitely new information.
16.
With the 16, you look, and sure enough, whatever that effect had been that had kept all the debris away is gone. It may have been like a field. It may have been like a almost like a protective line of some kind. It's really hard to tell, but certainly something has changed.
So do I stay here? Do I move?
Whatever happened already happened. The question is, who now knows? Is it something that Harrison put, or is it something that happened with Diatray prior?
Oh my gosh, I can levitate things. I can pick it up.
I mean, at very the least.
It just seems like a protective ward of some sort.
Now that
perhaps.
whatever
Can you
is
like levitate the lid?
done,
I can just levitate the whole
I'm gonna
box.
see.
It's like locked,
Is it
is the
locked?
thing.
Can I try to pick
Yeah.
the lock just like normally now
Yeah.
that it's like whatever magic is on it? we've
Yeah,
already
go for it. Make a
triggered
lockpicking
so-
check.
While
Sleight
he's
of hand,
doing
right?
that, I'm gonna just say to Rez, are you sure you can't remember the combination without seeing the keys?
No, there's numbers, 2 numbers on each key, and that's a lot of numbers.
Oh, okay.
There's a 5 and a 4 together.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
It's a sleight of hand
Constant
check, right?
insight
Yeah.
checks.
What?
Sleight of hand check, right?
Yeah.
21.
21. With a 21, this lock just a little bit beyond your reach. This is something that integrated into this chest. And as you get closer, you haven't really seen work like this before. It's all one piece of metal. It's not pieces joined individually.
I got a 7 on my stupid insight check.
Hard to tell.
I haven't rolled above like a 9 for anything regarding his.
He gives you a big smile.
Is this lock thing like 8 numbers? Like eight like
Yeah.
number slots? Okay.
He said he remembered that there's a 5 and a 4 together.
Yep.
I'll communicate that. Maybe it'll help.
Okay.
Can I switch the 5 and the 4? Does he know which of the numbers?
It's here. You can
Oh, is he?
just ask him.
You know,
He's present.
He
He's just
becomes
invisible.
he becomes visible, and he just
Which
goes,
one's
"No, I think towards the middle. It might be the there's no middle. I really don't know. I'm sorry,
yeah, it's not very
but
helpful.
definitely a 5 and a 4, a 6 and a 4.
Knowledge check on blacksmiths in the city who would make such keys.
Make a history or arcana check.
Is there anything like a significant date or anything that would make sense for Diatray, like the day that his wife died or anything?
What day is
would be,
that?
like common knowledge. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Is it the 6th of summertime?
Are you saying this out loud?
I'm asking. I mean,
Well, because
What was your check,
Has been around
Gus?
for a while.
17.
well,
17
Yeah.
for was it arcana or history?
They're both the same, so I guess I'll just say history.
Okay, with a 17 on history. Sorry, remind me again what your question was.
Asking. I feel like we can't get to the keys, but the keys were made by someone, probably a blacksmith. who
With a
would make the
17,
keys.
this is definitely not a blacksmith, because when you see metal worked in this way, usually it is a old, almost forgotten, although recently resurging a little bit in Dominion, a technique called artificing. This is when magic is imbued into material that allows it to be shaped in ways that are non-conventional. So you can do things like make a perfectly sealed container. This is not one of those, but you could do something like a perfect box with no actual container that you need to have the correct material to tap it open. That also might have something to do with how this is opened. You're not sure, but you can definitely tell this is artificing, not blacksmithing.
Okay, I'll tell the party that.
Okay.
Well, maybe we
And
should
there's no
just
way
take
we
it
can
with
get these.
us.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, maybe we'll eventually find enough context or information about it that we can open it without exploding anyone or anything. Or we could drop it on
Whatever
someone
was going to happen already
if we
happened.
needed to.
Well, right,
didn't
but what if
explode,
like is there such a thing as magic where like this box could be like tracked by the person who had cast the spell? Do you see what I mean? Like,
I would say that being from Thornhome and having seen many tracking spells used during hunts, yeah, of course.
okay. I mean, so we could take it with us, but I mean, I
don't
guess
think we
potentially
should
it
take
could
it with
lead Diatrade to us.
Let me get one more crack at it.
All right.
Try to lock pick it.
Or he could lure
Guidance.
Diatrade to us.
Yeah, he really killed us. I literally died. I don't want to fight him again.
It was 2 ones.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow. So you go up, and as you put the pick in, you like swear that you can get this, and it goes deeper and deeper, and you start to get frustrated because as it is going deeper, like it's still
Change the 5 to a 6. Fuck.
you change these like little combinations. You try again, nothing opens. You change the combination again, you try again, and the torsion wrench that you're using to try to act as the key to like have leverage, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And almost always there's a point after like 5 tumblers or something where it stops. But after a second, you realize if you push it in any further, you're going to lose it. So you go to try to grab it, and your fingers just pinch it, and it goes straight in and ding, 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 in the lock.
Well, okay, so I guess our options are take it with us and see if we can find a way to get it open, or see if we can find one of these artificers, or we leave it here because
Yes, some of you listening?
he wouldn't tell us.
I already tried that.
If you are, you want to open this, that would be helpful.
Well, if we take it with us, we
Yeah,
can
try.
ask him the next time we see him. And yeah, if he said he's always watching, then
I don't know if taking it is the wisest choice.
yeah.
Then we just leave it here.
It's not like, I mean, this place is well guarded. Hersim's gonna see it eventually, so.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry,
wipe my
bud.
hands
And
of
I'm like,
this.
the chocolate's staying here.
You can kind of see he slumps over a little bit, but and the ears drop, and he says, "Yeah, I kind of figured. Just you gotta hope, you know."
Yeah. Yeah.
seeing
The way
this,
you described his body language.
I'm gonna
is
take
so
the last,
Sad, yeah.
the last
adorable.
piece of the first box of chocolate, like split it in half, and like
As you like crack it, the ears up, and he just turns and goes,
Maybe we should ration that up.
I am, but he's going through a hard time, and I want to be appreciative.
Wow, you're being
Worries
so
an
nice
enabler.
to him. He super
Thank you.
is.
I give
This
it to
is-
him, and I'm just like, enjoy that.
you can see
my
his like
God.
arm is like shaking, and he goes, "Thanks, it's." It just disappears, and he goes, "Oh, all right. Oh, there really is something weird about this place, you know.
We should probably get going.
I mean, did you guys notice the owls?
Well, that was what was off. Something
I now.
stepped there.
I guess we did notice
Wait,
it.
what about owls?
Well, when Billy stepped in, the debris went, and there was a strange rustling.
Should we get going
sounds.
before anything bad happens? Because we do have like things to do.
Billy?
Something.
You're looking around, and in the bits of ruins and the rafters, you can see there are many owls. Close to 24.
Does Billy see a snowy white owl?
Make a perception check.
It just kept whooshing right
Wait, still?
23.
I literally
23.
only just caught it.
You look up, and as you look up, Billy, and it's like the crown of thorns and like the purple, there's like a and like owls go everywhere. You do see there are snowy white owls, absolutely. The majority of these are barn owls. You can see like this big rounded face, the long kind of like snout, and you see just like this plethora of like dark eyes. Although mixed in, you do see a few hints of maybe more Feywild-y kind of elements. You see a couple of like more emeraldy looking eyes. You see a pair of chartreuse eyes, sapphire. You can see what looks almost like topaz off in the distance, then this big explosion. and then there are no owls.
Everything all right?
Fine. Billy kind of like looks at Minka and is just like, owls.
Was
I feel like I'm missing something.
I agree with
Vincent
Valis
and
here.
Valis are missing something.
Well, okay, are we taking the box or not?
No, I think we should leave it.
I don't care to take the box.
I think something else is laid claim to the box.
And what, pray tell, is that? The owls.
There are no owls anymore.
The sky.
Alright,
You were right the first time.
so clearly it's like, we're leaving it here. There are no books. All the cool
We're
ones
leaving
are
it
gone.
here!
From like down the hall, you hear like a couple crunching footsteps, and one of the guards leans out. What are you leaving?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
We're leaving this place. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Just be careful on the way out. Things are collapsing.
You too.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Just heads off into the mansion.
Thank you.
You make your way out. Unless there's anything else you want to do.
As we're leaving, I'll be like, this family members of yours again or something?
Minka's gonna like sidle away from Ori.
Okay, no problem.
Billy's just gonna walk out.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna catch up.
Or he's like, did you not hear me? I said.
Well, after Billy has gone like a comfortable distance away,
Okay.
then I'm gonna catch up so it's just the two of us.
Okay. No problem.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I do appreciate what you said the other day. I'm sorry if I said some things yesterday in my frustration. I understand familial difficulties, and I ask out of concern.
You're all turning and kind of walking through the streets as this happened. You guys are heading towards the exit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys turn left, going down past some stalls, areas that have not quite become like habited yet today, as it's still relatively early in the morning. But you continue.
Owls.
The owls are not my family. They're just interesting.
Interesting how.
You haven't noticed anything weird about the owls?
Billy, as you're walking, you are coming to like a little T intersection. Are you going left or right?
Which way is the exit?
It's hard to tell. I mean, you haven't really been here a whole bunch. I mean, either way will eventually lead you. Turn
Oh,
right.
we're going this way.
Are you allowing Ori to steer you away?
I'm joking. I'm following. I'm following Billy.
Okay, no problem.
Billy goes left.
You go left. No problem.
So, not your family. What's particularly interesting about owls?
Kind of saw one at Diatre's party. Less owl and more owl person.
Like an Aarakocra?
No, just smaller.
Oh, I got an out of that Aarakocra.
I don't know.
A child?
Whatever it was following Minka around and whispering to her and whispering to other people and just
Well, what
being
did-
generally weird.
What did it say to Minka?
Didn't say.
Oh. Hey, Minka.
I imagine at this point, Minka has been like, to Val, has been like, so I saw you talking to some plants, and I was wondering if that's something you do. Oh, what?
Could you? I've got a question. Could you come over here for a moment?
Minka kind of trots up. It's like, "Doo, doo, doo."
Oh,
So you
you
can
leave poor
see, like-
Valis with angry Alina.
You run up, just leaving Valis alone with Alina.
Oh, you're generally
And
angry.
you join Ori and Billy right as they get up to a place where there is like a little public well that is kind of drilled down, and actually looking through, the core of it is like a well, and there are openings on either side, so it goes to multiple levels. You can look up and see like people passing by. But there are like several roads that lead away here. Billy, you can actually see there is a sign that points towards the exit. It's just straight ahead. Is that the way that you're leading everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
So, Billy mentioned that you spoke with an owl at the party.
No, whispered to her.
Whispered with an owl.
Nope, to
Was
her.
whispered at by an owl at the party.
At the time, I thought it was a ghost. It was not a ghost, it turns out.
Right, and what did it say to you?
Oh, I took paper notes that day.
That's a good question. I was pretty freaked out.
I just metagaming it. I know it talked to me. I don't know.
I think I only remember it talking to you.
I'm pretty sure it only spoke to me. Yeah.
It only spoke to, like, I heard footsteps.
Yeah.
Right.
So
she heard it, but it talked to me. Yeah.
I don't think, actually, the more I think about it, see, I thought it was the woman you were trying to find, and I heard them running around, but then I didn't see anyone, and then I heard it again, and then I thought it was ghosts.
I am thoroughly confused by this entire situation now.
Either way, we saw an owl. Owl was intelligent, and there were quite a number of odd owls hovering over a box that we wanted to get into that was protected by a magical field. It's weird.
Okay, but you don't know who or what the owls are.
No.
So maybe it's just owls?
There's just a random flock of owls inside.
Are
a
there
ruined
any
house.
like archfey or creatures that would be associated with owls?
Make a history check. Quite a few. But make a history check. See if you can maybe narrow it down.
Is it arch? If it's archfey,
Also, keeping in mind the conclave that we just went to, like places like that. Versus, are there any that are like negatively associated?
Sure.
Can I also make a history check on that?
Does this use my boof?
That's what Kara's trying to communicate to you very hard from the corner, guys.
Sorry, what?
That's why Kara's doing this.
She's doing this.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We talked about you want to put the die in the hand when you do that.
yeah, you don't want to just casually do this.
Now I roll a 16.
Can I also make a history check?
Go for it.
It was okay. It was a 14.
9.
With a 9, no idea. Owls?
Owls?
What are those?
What's an owl?
Missing.
For you, there are a few archfey. I mean, not really archfey. You know of a couple of gods that definitely have like an owl as an avatar or as a like symbol or favorite creature. For archfey, you've heard tell of like entities of the Winter Court that favor barn owls in particular. But which ones, hard to tell. And those are very specific barn owls. They are from the Feywild and much larger and more intelligent.
But these were just ordinary, like the ones that I heard. And
Relatively. There's a few that
Presumably.
definitely seemed like a little bit more like enchanted, but not like the kinds that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Well,
Just something to keep an eye out for.
so someone else knows.
But like, man, I don't look like an owl.
That didn't imply that you were.
You asked if they were my
I
family.
don't know. That's magic. She's got an imp. She doesn't look like an imp, but she's got one now. That's weird. Owls aren't that weird, relatively speaking, if we're being perfectly honest. Actually, I like owls.
Is a touchy subject with me.
Ori, I have so many questions. I really do.
I think
But
we all do.
But I just... Okay. You just parse information very differently than I do. And it's fascinating, really, but...
I'm sorry that owls upset you. I did
Like
not
that.
mean to offend. I just-
Nika very politely tells you, I'm fascinated by your lack of social skills.
in the meantime, in the back, separate from this group, Alina and Valos are walking along, and Alina's just like, so what's your deal, man? You like to party?
I just love life.
I can work
Life
with
is
that.
to be
So I told you about Sir Nuno.
It's like, would you like life more if you knew about Sir Nunos? The answer
So-
is yes.
Remember when I mentioned it the other day for like a half an hour?
You know who could get your memory back? Sir Nuno.
Definitely.
Are you asking
time,
me why I love life?
No, I think Alina is taking the opportunity to tell you more about Sir Nunos, but this time she's taking the angle of like work hard, pray hard in Thornholm, and so she's trying to figure out like, well, maybe she didn't play her cards quite right. Maybe you like to party, and like I can work with that. So that's kind of where.
Gotcha.
If you work really hard, you can pray.
Yeah.
Work hard, pray hard is legit something I heard a youth pastor.
So,
What I really meant, where I was going was like pray hard, play hard, which is better. So I'm just gonna.
trauma for Billy, trauma for Kara. But no problem. Billy, you lead this group through the streets. Without too much trouble, if there's nothing else that you guys are trying to find or do, you can make your way out. Give me 1 second here.
Have we made our way out the correct exit to the Volbrand camp? Is that what was going on?
Billy,
There was a dog waiting for you.
interestingly, as you are walking and you're talking to Ori, leading this entire group along, you become very cognizant of the fact that once again, you are leading a very innocent individual towards danger. You think about those owls. You think a little bit about Ori talking about family. You didn't catch a great look at those owls, but maybe there is something there. But you find your way out close to 9 in the morning, and so now traffic is beginning to pick up a little bit. It's nice out. Now reaching into the kind of middle elements of the summer, close to 80 degrees already in this early hour. Give me 1 second.
No, I'm just saying, on the scale of things that we've seen within the last week even, owls is very low on that list.
Billy is very clearly not listening anymore.
You find your way outside the Emerald Spire, and you can see there are all manner of people who are beginning to get closer. And as you see, like down the hill, you can see on this clear day the sparkling lake of Lake Turkana.
Are we well prepared for a lengthy journey? Did we pack rations and stuff?
I'll say that, like, for sake of expediency,
Can we have done that?
you can have packed rations.
I can always find enough food.
Oh right, you've got.
I can
on it.
forage.
I can goodberry.
I will
Mostly just,
kill
it only just occurred to Hannah.
and I will
I don't want to get to
You know how
the person
it's just like, can I get you anything?
Right.
That is really like,
I didn't ask for any food.
so
I can
We can
goodberry.
just say that we prepared adequately.
I forage
You
enough
have-
berries before we get on the ship.
I assume
You have
this
2
was
weeks
an
of
all
rations
expense
with
paid cruise where they would give us food.
Listen,
Minka, how many times can you cast Gooderberry in a day?
listen, I can make enough berries to keep us all alive. If I prepare correctly, which I don't think has happened a single time this entire campaign,
If
I
you
can
just, like-
theoretically keep us alive.
If you make like 6, you boil them, you mash them up, add a little bit of sugar, and jar it. When you spread that on, we could probably squeeze it out to about 12 servings, right?
Goodberry jam. I love it. So
You gotta eat it that day.
you make your way down, and if you do want to make your way towards the Volbrand camp, which you know is kind of at the opposite side of this sort of structure that the Emerald Spire sits on, you are heading west. And so if that's the direction you want to go, this is a slowly sloping hill that becomes a little bit steeper, but much more heavily wooded. And so even though it is steep, you're able to hold onto trees, and it's not too hard to pick your way down. Not difficult terrain, but close. Who is leading this group?
I guess Billy is.
Kind
Go
of
ahead.
passively talking in Billy's ear.
Make a survival check.
All right, let's use
Not
the
distracting at all.
use the big dice.
I mean, I'm trying to empathize, but really,
Billy is not paying
using
attention.
platitudes is very difficult for me to understand.
Listen, it's the fact that it's not the owls that were the issue.
I understand
right?
it's not the owls,
Right.
but if I don't know what the actual implication of behind the owls is.
Show the people what you've done.
What is that roll?
What do you think it is?
Ori was Ori is very distracted right now.
Okay.
It's just
Sorry, friend.
It did it yesterday where it was just a natural 1, and then I rolled today and it was an 18. And I was like,
If
oh,
it's
it's
not the
feeling good
owls.
today.
Billy,
say
Yeah.
what it is.
you walk kind of leading the group, and as you do, there's a pretty clear path that people take down here. You can see like not quite a game trail, a little heavier than that.
Fuck that.
That's the path's most traveled, and you can find a clearer route than that. So you hook off into the trees, and you guys all
The
watch
trees to the north.
as Billy, like this clear path. No, so the path does wind a little bit more north, and so like it is a little bit more indirect. And you're like, nah, straight. And so you go straight down. You like have to climb and like pick your way. Can everybody go ahead and make athletics checks as you are now taking a much harder route?
You're welcome.
I think I've said it.
And I helped it all by my little hooves that are like climbing shoes. I know I'm not.
12.
12. Okay.
Have I been here before?
No.
Damn. 7.
16.
Great. Okay. Billy, Alina, and Ori. Each of you, over the course of the first like 10 minutes, finds the opportunity to catch your hoof or foot or whatever you would prefer to have caught into elements of roots and trees, and you tumble hard enough to take a little bit of damage. You slide like 10, 15 for Billy, who rolls a 5.
You catch.
Billy, you go like a good 25 feet down, and there is a point where all of you, as you like catch yourselves and climb up, you get to see the last 10 feet of Billy careening and then go straight into a tree. And though it's only 2 points of bludgeoning damage for all of you, Billy, your pride takes a little extra damage.
Billy like immediately stands up and it's just like,
Are you all right?
When you immediately stand up, your head poof, onto a big branch. Oh,
this way isn't safe. We have to go around the other way.
oh. There's like a little bit of blood coming down through like the tangle of Billy's hair, but no problem.
There's more leaves somehow.
So Billy finds a tree, and all of you avoid this tree for the most part.
You're welcome.
Oh. Do you want me to fix that?
No.
Okay.
You look by on the path, and like as you get to the bottom of the hill, and it does take you actually longer than it would have taken you had you taken the path. You look over, and you can see there are like a little almost train of carts and merchants who seem to be very colorfully dressed in some kind of like a man, it looks like a really cool traveling merchant, but gone now.
See,
As they
aren't you
travel
glad that we
across the
didn't
spider.
go with that? That's just so
funny, you know.
abrasive.
I know. Oh man, oh well. So
Excuse me.
I want to battle up next to Ori while we're on the way.
sure.
Oh, my conversation buddy.
The one who usually leads the group.
Oh, it's a bit of sort of depends on the situation. Usually there is no true cohesive head to the organism that is our group. To varying degrees of success, as you would imagine. But having said that, Billy is often the one to go first, if it's not me personally. But also, sometimes Minka will just find something interesting and kind of wander. But I do that too sometimes. So really, it is really a general lack of cohesion.
Can I hear this?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just like the anime tension waves coming off of Billy.
I will say, generally speaking, if someone were to lead us, it would probably be better if it was Billy than most, besides myself.
As Ori is like, Minka's just gonna scan the coast to look at the ships to see if anyone happens to be the cat's claw.
Make a perception check. So as you are going down the western side, you're not looking at the ocean. The Emerald Expanse off to the east. What you are looking at is Lake Tarkana, which is
Yeah.
primarily freshwater. There is, You don't really know. Lake Turkana,
Yeah.
big lake in the middle of the continent. But on the coast there, because it is such a big lake, it is really like a horizon of water. There are a couple of ships, and you can see there is this camp that is like right on the coast. It's still probably another 20 minutes away, and so like a little bit off in the distance.
Not quite yet.
No cat's claw. They're all well. Give me 1 second. You can
Roll a
see
D100.
there are 4 or 5 smaller.
looks pissed.
There are 4 or 5 smaller little craft that are like riverboats that are all kind of gathered around and moored into a small wooden pier that goes out about 20 feet into the water. And then a little deeper, there is larger ships, 2 of them, that look like true fishing vessels. They have a couple people moving around on them, but at the moment it seems like people are preparing the smaller ships.
Okay. Once she registers that the Catskill's not there, she kind of like relaxes, but in a way where it's like she didn't realize how tense she was getting.
Yeah.
But she kind of like, okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Did we see Cheshire at all? Like, is she with us? Like,
You would assume that Cheshire's with you,
but we haven't seen her. We haven't had an opportunity to talk to her, explain the plan, explain why we're going where we're going.
likely not.
Okay.
But Cheshire will be there.
I'm gonna ready an action. For the moment I have FaceTime with Cheshire, I'm going to explain the
This is
plan.
what we're doing. No problem. Free action.
This is ability that Ari has in Starfinder that would be really useful in that situation.
So you make your way, Billy leading the group towards this kind of encampment, and as you get closer, you are approached by a pale halfling. And they have long black hair that's pulled back into a ponytail and kind of shaved close on both sides. But they approach and they have elements of like very, very light leather armor. Yes?
Go up and be like, hey, you want to go live with some...
First question you ask every NPC. You come to the big bad at the end, and you're just like, before we fight, do you want to live with some grug?
I got you.
So you lead the group off, and you can see this halfling approaches you. And sort of quietly, they just say, are you looking for passage? Or...
Yes.
Yeah, we're headed across towards the Divine Court.
Okay, well, apologies, but neither... Oh, give me a second, my notes are so long. Neither the grayfish or the blue birch are in sailing condition, at least until we can sort out some of the more angry creatures.
Catfish.
But if you give us a few days, we'll be able to provide passage again.
Can we help?
We
How do you
are
mean?
good at dealing with angry things.
You are?
Yes.
Oh, Volbrand will want to talk to you then.
Sure.
On the way to Volbrand, I'll just ask the group. I don't remember. Does Hearsome generally pay for your travels, or...
It's a bit...
As you walk towards the camp, this halfling kind of turns and he just says, you are all familiar with the lake and the creatures that live within, right? You know what you're signing up for.
Just because
Do some of us need to make rolls on that?
I would say this side of the table, go ahead and make history checks. I believe that you two already have on your knowledge of the lake.
19.
Or no, you haven't. Go ahead and Valis, go ahead
I
and
know
roll.
that there's big scaries.
What is it?
Yes. This is a history check. What was yours? 17,
19.
19,
Minus 10 of that.
9. Billy, no fucking idea. Probably fish.
Yeah, know exactly what's in there.
23.
23. Okay. Minka, so like northern Lake Turkana, you're a little bit more familiar with. There are oysters, freshwater oysters that grow all along something called Pearl Snap Bay. And like people bring you pearls, well, not you specifically, but the entire area, they'll bring pearls. And so there are black pearls that are available here that do have some magical properties. And so that's pretty cool. Outside of that, I mean, you haven't heard much. Alina, you have heard of a creature that is spoken about in Thornholm, actually. This is a creature that is legendary and something that everybody would like to take home. It is a creature known as the Widowmaker arowana. And this is a jet black, metallic, almost dragon-like fish that just coasts along the surface. And evidently, when it gets close, you can see almost this pale glowing light that drifts just above the water, attracting people closer and closer before it snaps. And apparently, it can swallow whole boats.
So he's like, oh, you
Valis,
guys.
you have heard of many creatures. You've heard of the stormcaller catfish, just like Ori. You've heard of the Inakamudi, which is a gigantic anaconda-like snake. This gets closer to about 30 feet long, and so capable of swallowing a person whole. But more dangerous are the fact that the scales have mild anti-magical properties. There is, of course, the monstrous Hellbender salamander, which is about 20 feet long. It is slow moving and only a filter feeder, but it eats the sediment off the ground, and the volcanic elements that are coming from the south allow it to grow this like almost glass that comes out in spines from its back, and it can fire those as weapons as well in defense. You've heard of the Everest water bear, which, despite its name with a 24, is not a bear. You know, this is simply a huge beaver. That being said, it does destroy boats to build dams. And then you've heard of the Widowmaker arowana, which is absolutely a true thing. This creature, upward-facing mouth, can swallow a rowboat whole. It has backward swept teeth so that when it does swallow something, it is almost impossible to get out. Additionally, this lure that dangles, almost like an anglerfish's lure above the water, from far away, it has very hypnotic-like patterns, and so it's almost impossible to resist once you really lock onto it. So very dangerous is the Widowmaker arowana, but really nothing is as dangerous as that catfish. That is the thing that you want to avoid more than anything else, because beyond the fact that it can swallow a ship or cause damage with lightning, it calls storms to the area, and that can make this normally pretty common. You look at the boats, these are river boats, flat boats that are not designed for like big waves. This makes the lake very dangerous. So that's pretty much what you really want to avoid. There are also, this is a relatively like base water, and so you have a lot of cichlids that live down towards the bottom. It's a stony bottom lake. You know a good amount about it.
I share that with the party.
Cool. I would say you also know, actually, given that role, aside from like the horrifying like creatures that are there is really, really strong fishing. Once you get past the fact that there are incredibly deadly creatures, there are like very, very abundant livestock here, because fishing here is not the easiest thing to do. So that being said, like there are like this camp entirely a fishing camp. The fishing boats are grounded because the water is too dangerous, and the fighting part is happening potentially this morning. And that is what you are all approaching.
Yeah, I mean, but we can help. If there's any way that we can get across faster. So who did you say we should talk to?
This halfling points, and your vision is like past all these boats and the people working here, and the tallest figure that you could see, there's a dragonborn. And this dragonborn, you can see, has a spear in one hand. They have these long, jagged scars that go down the left hand of their face, and down the back of their head, all these quills that almost look like hair, although the right side has been like cleared away, and the whole right side of the face is just like this gnarl of scar tissue. You can see they seem to be like directing people and kind of shouting. This seems to be the leader of this entire group. And the halfling says, you can just call them Vol. Volbrand, Voltagatox if you're feeling really formal. But they run the entire camp. If you ask them, I mean, they're always happy to find help.
I feel like we should help, right? I mean...
Well, it's either that or we sit around for a few days.
Yeah, which I'm not too keen on.
I mean, I'm
Might
not
as well walk.
necessarily opposed to it.
Alina, make a charisma check. Flat charisma.
Does he or does he not like the cut of your jib?
Oh, and I have a jib, it's true. 18.
18. He, as you're like just communicating with him, he takes to you pretty well, and so he kind of leans over and he goes, just if you're going to help us out, steer clear of the Lady Woe. Bartholomew's hard to understand.
Who's the Lady Woe and who's Bartholomew?
He points, and you can see so there are a couple different ships. You can see 3 or 4 riverboats. There is one that he is pointing to that is presumably the Lady Woe.
Oh, the ships.
And the person who is kind of the captain of that standing there is a half-elf, and you can see bare-chested, big axe scar. Clearly, the sternum is indented in, the bone is cleft and is re-healed. And you can also see most of the lower jaw missing. There's little bits of drool that come down, and every now and then they kind of wipe away the bit. But this halfling just says, it's not their fault or anything, but they're just really hard to understand, and it takes teamwork to make these ships work.
Right.
Ask for me.
What's your name?
Dimes.
What's your ship's name?
Dances on water. I'm not supposed to go out, so you need to ask for me specifically.
Why not?
Why aren't you supposed to go out?
I just like to go fast.
You're pussy.
Make an insight check.
What's his ship called again?
The Dances on Water.
Oh, dances on water.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Nice.
He likes to go fast. He probably got in trouble.
It must be related to Son.
It's instead of gold rings, it's just dimes. Sorry, what's his name? Okay, I'm gonna just give him a conspiratorial wink.
Okay.
Because going fast sounds pretty good to me.
He
As a
winks.
fellow fast liker,
Sure, we can choose to say it that way. As somebody who likes to go fast as well.
Faster.
does Dimes also strike me as a thieves' canter?
Just because his name is Dimes?
And because he likes to go fast.
What are you saying to Dimes?
Have you seen,
Fast can't.
my aunt may have come a few days prior.
I don't think so.
Oh,
There hasn't been anybody who's come really looking for passage in a little bit on account of the lake monsters.
right. Fair enough, fair enough.
What's her name?
Sally?
I don't think Sally's come through. I'm sorry.
It's unfortunate. Hope she's alright.
Has the lake monsters always? Is the issue that the lake monsters are more angry than usual, or are they just always this angry?
They get riled up by different things. Something on the western part of the lake typically will stir up trouble. Almost always when the water bear comes out.
Which part of the lake are we on?
You are on the eastern coast.
That's by the Mediocrity, yeah?
Which part of the lake do we want to be on?
The western coast.
We're traveling west.
You don't. That's.
Oh.
Is that exactly what
That's
we're going?
Dominion.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, no, that is Everest.
That is
Everest.
Everest, yeah.
Everest?
Yeah.
For those of you watching the stream, we're all peering at a framed map.
So I haven't finished this yet,
behind,
but
yeah.
you guys are right about here, and then you guys are probably trying to get somewhere in this direction. But yeah, you have a lake to cross.
You know, it wouldn't have anything to do with this fire that's over there, right?
Well, it's almost certainly. Is this where we're eventually heading?
Let's hope not.
It's further north, though, so
Well, that's true. It is more north.
things would have to be very bad if it was affecting all the way over to the lake at this point. And if that were the case, I think that at least here someone would already know about that.
That's true. Okay. Well, let's go see what monsters are awaiting us today.
You walk up to this dragonborn. He turns facing all of you, and you can see this big grin spread across, but because it is 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to end for the evening. But thank you guys for joining us for this evening. We are going to be back next week, if you can't wait that long, on Thursday. We're going to play some Starfinder, but we'll be back on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't wait that long, please, or no, you just have to, because That's what we're
We
playing.
will not move it up for you.
You know what? If you can't wait that long, YouTube at Albrod RPG. We got 16 one-shots up there. Go check them out.
Yeah,
But
watch that shit.
please stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.